Like, because it was like touching the weapons that caused them to break from Alicani, and I'm wondering, like, are they still under the control of that curse?
Um, make a religion check for me.
All right.
Let's see if you can determine if the curse is still active.
Oh, come on. Um, it's gonna take me a second to do that, unless somebody wants to just roll it for me. I've got +3 religion, and then we'll take her D4 of guidance.
Hi, Bill.
Adelaide,
Hey, Bill.
neighbors.
Okay, here, I can roll the d20 for you, Dave, if you want to add your modifier.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, sorry, my software is updating, so I can't do it right now.
I hit a 9. So 9 plus
So
whatever your
12.
modifiers are. 12.
So
Plus
modifier is +3, and then the D4 for guidance.
D4 for guidance. I can do that as well. Make you happy to know I'm rolling big foam dice.
I am happy to know that.
Okay. That is a 1.
All right, so 14, or wait, 13 altogether.
13 all day. Alright, so, you still think that there is some of this curse is still active. You can't quite tell if it seems to have diminished, or if you're just more used to being around it, and it's, like, harder to detect.
shit.
And then yeah. So Maggie, I'll ask Ashnak, like, how much contact did you have with the dragon? Is the dragon just following the weapons, or does he know you guys? Does he know who Malakani is?
He says, well, we did have it fly over when we were in the caves when we were prepping out the new tech, that white flyer we got going on now. But yeah, well, I don't think we were spotted. It didn't seem like we were.
And does the dragon know who Malakani is?
Well, it stands to reason that if Malakani knows who the dragon is and knows that he's got this treasure, the dragon would probably be able to figure it out. I mean, he's a dragon. He's not stupid.
All right. Well, yeah, Maggie's going to talk to the group about the idea of casting a sending spell, talking to this dragon, and trying to convince him that he's got the wrong guys. I guess, like, especially maybe want to check with Reginald and find out whether casting a sending spell would, like, enable the dragon to hone in on them or something.
Okay.
I
As soon as you take Reggie out to ask him this question, he says, "Oh well, yes, that would most certainly be the case. He would immediately know where we are if he's nearby. You see, dragons are a bit different with magic. They have sort of an innate ability to sort of sense where spells are coming from when they're directed at them. Again, this is something that particularly the ancient ones are good at. But there's nothing to stop you from sending one to him.
I don't know if we want to send it if it can bring him right to us, considering our situation at the moment.
Ashnak, do you have any intel on where the dragon is?
He says, "I'll send out word to the flyboys and see if they can pick him up on their radar." He grabs his sending stone and proceeds to kind of communicate in orc code to what you can only assume is the team flying the manipulated cryo vein. He says, "We need a good call sign for that sumbitch. Shouldn't be cryo vein. That's too fucking edgy."
Can I offer to? Oh, sorry.
Have any intel on finding Mexa or any of the others?
Right as you ask that, radio actually comes across. General Ashnak, we have found our quarry. We are in tow and headed south now, returning to the fortress. Ashnak pops up and says, Belay that, soldier. You're gonna continue south past the fortress. There is no more reinforcements there to be had. You're gonna continue heading south until you reach the fields of Rezamark. We'll bring you right here, and we're gonna all group right up. Says, copy that, General. He says, it seems that they've found your girl and your friends.
Maggie yells, "Thank Hestia!"
And
I
there's
ask,
probably a few more details than that given over the conversation, but
I asked Ashnak if he or his other soldiers need anything mended, and if I could be of any service using my earth moving smolder spell to make any kind of like barriers or anything for them.
he says, well, since we're gonna hole up here for a bit, might not be a bad idea to improv some sort of barricade around us. Maybe we could just make something kind of circular around here.
How long would that take me to do?
Let's see, what is it? For a cantrip, you get like 5 square feet, 10 square feet of earth that you can move?
5 square feet.
Okay, so 5. Let's see. So we'll say you can do a circle that is. Draw one in here. Better color. Bloop. 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 Sorry, messaging. Bob's gonna be a little bit late. That's okay, because he's still traveling to the plains of Mount Celestia. Which I find super, super funny, because my daughter watches My Little Pony. Celestia is the main character in My Little Pony, and so it's like,
Nice.
it just cracks me up every time I have to say it out loud. I've been trying to come up with a good joke for Bob all day about My Little Pony, and I have yet to be able to come up with anything of...
Just have it be all unicorns.
Right. I like the idea that like the plane is like run by My Little Pony.
Entirely unicorn based.
See, that could work.
The guide rides upon a My Little Pony when he shows up.
So let's try. We'll say you can create kind of a earthen mound somewhere around here.
It's just gonna basically give us a little extra protection, but not inhibit us from attacking things like range,
yeah,
right?
you can slope it so that it's like an easy slope on the inside and kind of a higher slope on the outside. It's just sort of like ramparts, and give or take.
What kind of help will it give us?
It'll at least offer you some cover if anything does show up on this map. I don't know why anything would show up on this lovely map. It might, especially since your DM only prepped 2 maps tonight. So. So yeah, let's see.
So Maggie thinks about the news and says maybe when the dragon when the white dragon arrives, maybe I can
You mean
take a ride out in the wilderness, contact the green dragon, and then come back
gotcha.
here.
That's right. The white dragon's the flying machine.
Right.
Forgot about that.
Okay. So Ashnak receives another call at this point, letting you know that the White Dragon is diverting its path to pick up Nexa and the others post haste, and they should have them in the air in less than 15 minutes, and they'll be en route. So in the meantime, Ashnak's orcs kind of fall back behind the ramparts. Toan remains silent. Guilfoyle, I assume, is eating an orange.
Yes.
And that's when you begin to hear sudden cries, screeches really, in the sky from far away. And just on the horizon in the dusk, you can kind of make out the flapping of great wings. And you're fairly certain, although you can't detect its color from here, that it's this very same dragon that was pursuing you guys earlier in the day before you made it to these fields of Rezamark. You don't know if it knows where you are or not. It's off far away on the horizon, but it's in the area now.
Will it sense any magic done that isn't directed towards it?
Maggie could tell you, because of her knowledge of dragons, like we were going over earlier, that she would know that dragons are very perceptive. We'll put it that way.
All right.
They got high scores. It's both good and bad that Bob's running late because like it builds tension for me. But he's also a partial focal point of this episode. So
Yeah, Vanadia is just kind of crouched beside him, in kind of a silent prayer to Illustre.
Yeah, after I'm done building my mound, I just kind of meditate and rest. Oh, Bill and hi Nick. I have polymorph now.
Nice. Nick, make sure you attack everything that gets polymorphed.
yeah, you guys have
Well,
already seen.
I
the
only
use of
have
the
one
polymorph
4th
spell,
level
too.
slot right now, so it can only be used in a dire situation or one that we really need it for.
Yeah, you guys have all seen polymorph in action too, because just before you left, the magician Jim polymorphed that the black
Right.
viper into a blue chicken.
Jim did that.
Yep.
Fight.
So, yeah, as you all stand above the body of your comrade, wondering what his fate is, you see that the dragon seems to be approaching closer and closer. Like he's almost making a beeline in your direction and getting larger in the horizon. Ashnak shouts out to the orcs. Not shouts, but whisper screams. Alright, boys, you better be ready for this thing. There's only 10 of us. Well, and the civilians here, too. One of our men's down. We gotta protect him. We can't let anything happen to your lieutenant. He points at Valk on the ground.
Anything else? Maggie suggests should I contact the dragon now? If he already knows where we are.
Well, let's make sure for absolute sure that he's heading for us before we start contacting it. How can we actually see it at this point or only hear it?
You can see like the silhouette of it, and it is definitely like the silhouette of a dragon flapping coming at you. Like it's like the sunlight's behind it. It's like kind of lit up. It's all like trying to think of the cover of the movie. What the hell's the movie? That one with Wesley Snipes where he's in Japan. It's got that cool sunset on the cover of the movie. It's like that, but with a dragon.
Oh yeah. What was that movie? It'll come to me.
I can hear somebody googling.
Oh, I'm writing a sending spell just to get it ready.
I don't know. What's everybody's opinion on that?
For Bill and Nick, I guess Maggie's thinking about talking to the dragon via sending and saying, basically that Malakani ordered the theft. The orcs are now fighting Malakani. We are too. So attacking us will help his enemy, and can we work together? And then found out from Reginald that by casting a sending spell, she would, basically give the dragon our coordinates. So she's holding off on that. Nick, you muted.
What would you even say? What would you say to the dragon? Like,
Well, I just wrote up a 25-word spell, so she would say, "Great one. Malakani ordered theft. Orcs rebelled, fighting him with us. His power will grow if we are attacked. Let us meet through magic instead."
So you trying to bluff him away?
Not even bluff, really. I mean, you know, we're not totally clear on what he's coming for, I guess. But yeah, basically let him know that if he's coming to attack the orcs for taking his weapons, that like at this point the orcs have switched sides and he'd be attacking his allies. Or I mean, yeah, I guess that at that point that's a bluff, or not his allies, but that basically he's coming after the wrong guys.
Well, do you think he's an ally of Malakani?
I don't think he's. I mean, if Malakani ordered a theft of the dragon, then probably they're not friends. I am concerned, I guess, about like I don't know, like if the dragon did agree to a meeting, I'm not exactly sure how I'd phrase it to like I don't know what motivation the dragon would have to fight Malakani except like pettiness, but I feel like dragons are pretty petty, right?
You just said that to the Dragonborn.
Hey.
The petty dragonborn.
No, we're not.
We're less petty than you.
Yeah.
No, we're not. And I'll kick your ass if you say it again.
So are you guys sending this spell or no?
Yeah, I mean, just make sure you save a spell slot too. Bring back our boy here.
Yeah. I mean, Maggie will hold off, basically. If everyone's not comfortable with her sending it, she'll hold off. But I would say, like, if the dragon's, like, almost upon them, she's definitely going to send a sending spell before they're in, like, attack range.
Yeah, that sounds
I would
good
say
to me.
that is fine with me. If
Okay. Yeah,
no,
so basically...
No need to, like, provoke,
Right.
possibly. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll basically, like, cast the sending spell triggered by the dragon being, like, just outside of...
So this feels like to me when like a kid does something wrong, but then overhears their parents discussing what they're gonna do to get punished, and then they're like, "Shit, I better go confess." Yeah, hey, we're right here. But yeah. So you, what was your sending spell again? Go ahead and will you read it back to me again?
Great one. Malakani ordered theft. Orcs rebelled, fighting him with us. His power will grow if we are attacked. Let us meet through magic instead.
Like, it takes a couple seconds, but as you're sending this, you see the silhouette of the dragon sort of pause midair, and it's just like hover flapping, like kind of doing the other cool silhouette that dragons do instead of like the oncoming one. And the response comes fairly swiftly, and it's pretty loud in your head. We shall see.
cryptic.
I am on my way, little ones. And after just a brief few moments of this dragon kind of gliding down, Ashnak whisper screams again, "Shit, we got incoming!" And him and the orcs hunker down. And...
Oh, wait, there's more.
Boom. Bam. The dragon lands, cracking the ground around it. And you notice there's someone on the dragon's back. If anybody wants to make a perception check, feel free to see who it is.
Yep. Better believe I'm perceiving.
21.
Okay, you immediately recognize it, Tohan. It's Mexa on the back of the dragon, or at least what used to be Mexa. His skin, if possible, has become a more gray shade of black, kind of like ashy and sullen. His eyes are bagged out, and like there's a red tinge to them now. And he's garbed all in the kind of garb of a necromancer, such as you saw fighting with Malakani's forces in South Mord.
Oh, I got a 22 as well.
Okay, so you can see it as well. You guys can clearly make out that it's Mexa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that again? I'm sorry.
That is the twin that is under Malakani's control right now.
Gotcha. I thought so.
And the dragon lands and says, "You say these orcs have betrayed Malakani. So it is as you say, young twin. They have stolen my treasure and stolen their loyalty from your lord.
Oh
They
shit.
must die." And I need everybody to roll initiative.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Well, I get advantage on initiative now.
Good.
Sweet.
Good. I rolled 19.
23 for Guilfoyle.
8 for me.
5 for Maggie.
21 for Tohan.
Alright, I had 21 for Tohan, 19 for Venadia. Guilfoyle 21, did I hear?
23.
3. Okay. Maggie 8, right?
5.
5. Maggie 5, so Ariant 8 then.
Yes.
Okay. 5. Oh, yeah, Bob's not here. I'm going, that's only 5. Okay. And now, oof, the dragon. Use my rolly box. Not great. Plus. Alright. Guilfoyle, what would you like to do as this dragon begins roaring and kind of bellowing in his anger?
I will ready an action to attack as soon as it comes within range.
Okay. Alright. Tohan.
All right. I'm gonna yell, "Spread out," and then go into a rage. And then I want to move. My movement speed is 40, so 40 away from these guys. Ford and up there, yeah, great.
Should be 6 spaces, roughly.
Oh, hey. Also, I think Bill and Nick weren't here when I said it, but I did take inspiring leader. So all of us have plus 12, or like us and the orcs have plus 12 temporary hit points.
Cool.
I have 20 temporary hit points now.
Yeah, I still have some from before too. Sweet.
Do temporary hit points stack?
Yeah, I believe so. Let's see why they wouldn't.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so I guess I didn't realize how far away this thing was. I didn't see the little grid lines. I guess I'll bonus action dash,
Okay.
so get 80 feet.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Okay. And then I am way too far away to throw or do anything right now.
Yeah, more than likely. Say he is 20 times 5, so he's about 100 feet away from you. The ruler measures out the grid squares, not the feet. So if that,
Yeah.
you see the number that comes up. Alright, Venadia.
Yeah, I'm gonna dash as well. I guess maybe like a little. Well, I don't know what's north-south orientation right now, but
Well, if you just use north-south map-wise of what you're looking at, it should be up-down, for... We'll say that the, here. What's the easiest way to do this? I'll say that's...
So like if that's
We'll say
north-south there, then
north, yeah, north is up right now, so it's a normal map right now for top-down.
yep.
Try and zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole thing.
All right, so I have a speed of 30 and I'm going to dash, so I'm going to move like kind of a little more south than not like right up along Tohan, but like toward the dragon, but just,
More like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can get 12 spaces away. You said your speed's 30, right?
Yep.
Okay. Here's what else I'll do. I'll actually label north so we don't forget. Text.
And then what's my range from the dragon right now?
1 second. Oops. Bloop. Let's see. Range from dragon is just about 100 feet or so. It's a little over 100. 105,
Oh, okay.
110.
All right, so I'm not within range of Hunter's Mark right now, so I'm going to hold on to that. And yeah, I guess that's my turn.
Ariane. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Forgot the dragon had a +1. So the dragon lets loose a mighty roar. I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Maggie, you already, within the last 24 hours, have saved against Frightful Presence. The rest of you all failed your saves, I believe, last time, correct? So none of you are immune to it as of right now. So it uses its Frightful Presence. Anyone within 120 feet, which would actually only be Tohan and Venedia, must make a DC 19 Wisdom saving throw.
Now, if we eventually made the save, does that count as having made the save?
Yes. And if either one of you two already made it, then you can skip it.
I got 18. Damn.
I failed it as well. So I have a +0 to wisdom.
All right. So you both become frightened for 1 minute. So that's what do we say? 4 rounds? 10 rounds?
Yeah, 10 rounds.
Cool.
So you are no longer allowed to move towards said dragon. The frightened thing out so that I can read it if we need it. Like, this DM screen is nice, but I wish that I had this, like, condensed on, like, a page. So that I didn't have to mess around and fold it all out. Here we go. Alright. Okay, and as it lets loose this roar, it is going to move 40 feet. Why is it not measuring? Oop. There. 40 is going to be 8, roughly. And yep, it's simply going to charge another 40 feet. So it charges at the two of you, but it still has not gotten close enough to take an action. Now, Ariance.
All right. So how far away is it from me right now?
Right now. Roughly 100 feet. A little less than 100 feet.
All right. So I am going to spend a spell point and double my darkness. And I'm going to cast darkness and put it right over the dragon's head, like face and eyes.
Okay, what's the save for that?
There is no
It's
save.
area effect. There's no save.
Oh, that's right.
And you can probably target Mexa with that as well, right?
It's a 15-foot radius. So if it covers Nexa, great. If I don't know if it will or not, though.
Yeah, you can kind of target the neck where the dragon's head is, and we'll say that that's pretty close to 15 feet there, and kind of you catch Nexa, if not in the globe of darkness, then probably behind it, so that he can't see past it necessarily.
Yeah, and that spell moves with the object.
Yep.
Jen, what is anything disable that spell?
Dispel magic.
But,
Magical
like-
darkness spreads from point you choose within range. Darkness comes around corners. Can't see with dark vision. Non-magical light can illuminate it.
Yeah, my
But the light
assumption is
spell
that
does too.
dispel magic would probably get rid of it.
Light
Yeah, it
spell
doesn't say
also
either
counters
way.
it. I
The
think
light spell would also mess it up.
Yeah, light and darkness counteract each other basically.
That makes sense.
In the most basic concept of it, yeah. It's not like a.
All right, so darkness is cast. Anything else?
Well, it says if any of this spell's area overlaps with an area of light created by level 2 or lower, that spell created that the spell that created the light is dispelled.
Yep. Yeah, so like they can counteract each other. So you could like darkify a lighted area or lightify a dark area. That makes sense.
But if it's second level or lower, the dark overcomes the light.
Yeah, and same thing if light is cast at a higher level than the darkness, they kind of counteract each other basically.
Da, 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 da. It's a little the more you
All
know.
right, so, and then I move back closer to Volk and try to get out of the 120-foot range of the dragon.
Okay. So you're gonna kind of go behind Volk. Volk's like sort of just laying there in the.
Well,
ground.
just get me behind. I just want to be 120 away,
away from
not
the
within
dragon.
yeah, as long as it's not.
I think you are. Close. That would be to like, so you could run behind like that torch sconce thing over here. This guy.
Yeah, like
Something like that. Are you did you want to drag Valk with you or anything?
well, Maggie, do you actually Volk's
Leave
the
his
blue
ass.
right near me, right? What do you should I move him with me or should I just leave him there for now?
I think that's a good idea. I mean, yeah, Maggie doesn't have a whole lot of like long range spells, so she's more likely to get close.
Yeah, I'll if I have the strength to do so, I'll drag Valk with me just to keep him out of the line of fire.
Yeah, you're able to drag him the 15 or
Okay.
so feet.
Yeah, I'll try to stay near Valk as much as possible since I have the longest range.
Flip him back upside down. All right. So yeah, you're able to kind of drag him behind the torch for a little bit of additional cover. So now instead of like partial cover, we'll say you've got like 3/4 cover where you're standing. Maggie.
Well, so the only range spell Maggie's got is Guiding Bolt, which would cause the dragon to sparkle, which helps with the next attack made against it. But I think that's probably safe, right, to not disrupt the darkness. Or am I not understanding the spell right? Let's see.
I don't think it would disrupt the darkness. It would just be sparkly darkness.
Right. Those two spells wouldn't
Darkness.
mess. Okay.
It's like a lava lamp or something. I don't know.
Trippy.
Yeah, and I would say the first thing Maggie's gonna do still is kind of like yell out to both of them. I don't want to be too annoying with it, but Maggie's definitely gonna be like trying to convince them not to the whole time, as long as she reasonably can. But basically she's yelling for the dragon, like, like what debt could you owe a lich like Malakani? And she's yeah, I guess gonna cast Guiding Bolt.
So when you shout out, the dragon kind of stops its charge and begins to chuckle. It's very disconcerting sound because you're not used to hearing a dragon laugh. But I would say it's probably one of the worst sounds you've ever heard. And it says, "Oh, what could I owe Malakani indeed?" he says. "He told me of the orcs' treachery. He's told me that they're the ones who stole my weapons, my pretty collection, from the other realms."
I yell,
And-
they did it on his order.
"My fine young twin here said you would try to confuse me. But it is to no avail, for Malakani has already bestowed a gift upon me. A gift like no other." And when he says this, you see him begin to change. And the skin starts to kind of run from the outside of his neck and from his scales. Things start falling off from him. And before you stands this guy.
Holy shit.
What in the hell?
"Malakani has given me life undying."
Oh my
It's like an undead dragon. Jesus Christ.
Yep. He's a zombie dragon.
Holy shit. Oh man.
Some bitch.
Aren't you guys glad one of us is dead?
Yeah, I'm glad the guy that could
Timing. Oh,
turn
man.
undead is
I know,
Dead.
right, exactly. Speak of the devil.
Timing.
Speak of the shade.
That's so good. Oh my god, such good timing. Hi, Bob.
Oh my god.
All right, so that's a perfect time for us to cut to Valk. Hi, Valk.
Valk, we died because of you.
So,
Hi, Bob.
unbeknownst to Valk, the things that have just happened, Valk, you, after a time kind of finding yourself floating through darkness, you find yourself awakening in an area that seems just empty. It's white space. And as you turn, you see standing before you this visage that reminds you of someone, and you slowly kind of come to the realization that this person standing in front of you is you. And it stands in front of this large iron gate that seems to go up the side of a large mountain. Roll me a religion check to see if you know where you are. I mean, you kind of had an idea where you were going, so you'll know something, but...
That's an intelligence roll?
Wisdom, I think. Should just be in your skills.
Yeah, there is a specific religion.
All right. I'm just going to roll the d20 and see how with it. It says int next to it, but it doesn't give me an option to roll, so... here we go.
You just hit the +3 on the... Or the bonus thing.
Let's see. Screw it.
Or is he getting the dice?
There we go. I found it. Don't wait on account of me. Ha! 2.
Okay. So you kind of are looking around, and you know that you were headed to the plane of law, and that was what you were told was going to happen. You're not really sure if that's where you are or not. But standing before you is what appears to be essentially the visage of yourself. The only difference that you notice, of course, is that this particular visage of you seems to have wings. And it just stands there, just kind of looking at you.
I approach.
Alright, so as you walk up to it, it just takes kind of a wider stance as though it's guarding the gate. Sort of looks at you and doesn't say anything.
Answer me. Am I on the plane of law?
It looks at you for a moment. It says, "You are on the plane of law."
By what legal precedent may I enter?
By precedent of combat.
Okay, on guard.
Right, and it takes a defensive stance.
So,
I won't make you roll initiative because essentially he's gonna wait for you to attack. So you get a free attack action or whatever you'd like to do.
okay. Free action, huh? So, just quick, Zach. I'm assuming all me powers, all me spells, everything works here in hell. I mean heaven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
Alrighty. I'm gonna. So I guess I'll start off with. Let's see. Do Channel Divinity Sacred Weapon, and I'm gonna move to attack this guy with the longsword.
Okay.
Crit.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
So that's 1d8 plus 3, and then a sacred weapon is technically a sacred weapon adds 2 to attack rolls. Won't have to worry about that.
So it's a crit plus 2.
Yeah, I guess crit plus 2. All right. Six plus 3, 9. What is that? Times 2 plus 2.
So it's 6.
20 then?
6 on the dice times 2,
Yeah.
then plus your modifier, so it's going to be 12, 15. And then any other additional damage?
None. But now my weapon is emitting bright light.
Okay. So you strike the this feathered form of yourself, and it comes down hard on his shield and kind of crashes down. And he nods approvingly, and then he swings at you. That is.
That's the law.
What is your strength modifier, Valk?
Plus 3. I got a 17 strength,
So he got a dirty 20. I'm assuming that hits you.
unfortunately.
Okay. Let's see. 7 damage.
Okay.
Does Volk have temporary hit points from before? Seems like a ridiculous question.
Probably not. I have 58, so I'm down to 51, I guess.
Yeah, and the assumption is that you wake up in this place from a long rest because you died, so. So weird. It's the weirdest thing that's ever happened.
Can't forget that.
Okay. Fine. Going again at this dude. 19 plus 2, 21 to hit. And again, that's long sword.
Yeah, that's a hit.
3 plus 3, so another 6 damage.
Okay. So you strike him again, and now you notice something, that each time that you're striking him, the gate is opening a little bit more. And he's just nodding approvingly, and he strikes back. I'm assuming that is a miss. 13.
Yeah, you missed.
All right, so he swings, and you're able to dodge out of the way. Go ahead and roll one more attack roll for me.
9.
Okay.
That's a miss.
So he's also able to dodge out of the way. At this point, he says, "Hold. You have proven your combat skills and your courage. Now you must prove your dedication." And he takes a step back and out of the way. And the gate begins to open. And let me see if I can do this here. Because this worked earlier, and Lord knows that nothing ever works twice when I do this. Mode first person. Ba-ba-da-ba. And you look up and see this.
I asked what my next task is.
He says, "You must climb to the top of the tower. To the door there. There you will find that which you seek."
Okie doke. Climb, climb, climb.
Alright, just make me an athletics check, and then we're going to cut back to the other guys for a minute.
Okay, that is strength. Do I do my strength modifier plus my athletics modifier? It's like a +6 plus a +3.
The athletics modifier includes your strength modifier.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Holy shit, 20.
Nice.
Okay, so you are easily able to
Monkey.
scramble up the first half of this, sorry, switching views here.
I am never using the D&D Beyond dice again.
So
Fucking
much,
thing.
so much better mojo on real dice, for sure. Okay, so yeah, you are able to scramble. Woo, woo. Sorry, having some zoomy issues here. We'll say about that far up. That will lock you in place. And then we're going to zip back over here. All right,
I need to
back-
invest in some actual dice.
All right.
Bag of holding on Amazon gets you like 10 sets of dice and a bag for like $20.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
Bag of holding.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones where you can get good deals on like 20 sets of dice.
Do you guys want? Should I like bless the folks who are still within 30 feet of me, or should I guiding bolt this dragon? Any preferences? It's +4 on attack and saving rolls. I guess who's around me? It would be
I like that.
Ashnak, Gofoil, and Arianth, or myself.
I'm
Alright.
cool with getting +4.
Okay, cool. I will cast Bless.
So that's +4 on attacks and saving throws.
Yeah. Attack roll or saving throw for the next minute. You can roll a d4 and add that number to your attack roll or saving throw.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yep. I guess it'll be me, Guilfoyle, and Aranth. And let's see how far my range is. I guess I'll cast Spiritual Weapon, which is not going to hit the dragon, but it'll kind of like go 60 feet. Or actually, so maybe I better... Maggie will move towards the dragon and then cast Spiritual Weapon. She's only got 30 feet of motion. And yeah, she's still trying to stay like away from the others so that they can't get...
Okay, so did you want to go
That-
in between, or?
Yeah, I guess let's say in between.
Okay, so say
Yeah, that looks good. And then Spiritual Weapon 60 feet towards the dragon from there.
Okay. I know this isn't actually a weapon, but we'll just drop him for your spiritual weapon for now. How
I drop
far-
all sorts of odd tokens for spiritual weapon. I've used dogs, cats, anything. Anything that's like available.
That's pretty
Oh, it's a
cool.
broom. Here it is. That's your spiritual weapon.
Yeah.
What did I get?
I actually, it's like a dwarf. That's just what was convenient.
Fair enough.
I had a frying pan someplace, but I don't. When I
You
swept, when I put where my files were in a different folder, it like doesn't automatically link to it, so I have to go through and find the frying pan again.
Dwarf frying pan. What's the difference?
Yeah. It's a dwarf-shaped cake pan this time.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right, so Maggie, that will finish out your turn.
Yep.
That brings it back up to Guilfoyle, I believe.
How far away is this dragon? It's kind of hard to tell on scale
Let's
here.
see. From Guilfoyle. The edge of the dragon, you are about 185 feet, looks like.
All right, so I will move and then bonus action move because I can do that as a rogue. But I'm mostly running towards Tohan because he clearly needs protection. He is not all that bright, so he needs the help of a stout heart halfling to save him. So that gets me 50 feet. So that gets me 130.
Oh, that was... Oh, so you'd be right up on him then, because that was 120.
Okay. And then I will
Tohan's like, didn't you idiots hear me?
I will sling the dragon.
Okay.
A 12.
Does
It's
not
probably not much of a hit.
Nope. Dragon doesn't even notice. Well, it notices, but it's more like just kind of.
And the sling is part of the Hopek staff that he has. The sling / quarterstaff.
Nice.
Huh, that's cool. Do we know anything about this like zombie dragon? Like, is there anything we can tell about what's about to happen, or where our characters are just as confused as we are?
Yeah, it's, this thing, for some reason, has been. It sounds like your best assumption would be that somehow Malakani has convinced this thing that the orcs are to blame for the theft of his weapons, his toys, and that he could give him undying life and the chance for revenge. And since dragons are notoriously evil, at least chromatic dragons, as you know, it probably wasn't much of a stretch for this dragon to be like, become immortal undead dragon? Yeah, I'll go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Tohan, that would be your turn.
Okay, so is the frightful presence still there after it changed to?
Yes, you can make another save, though, at the beginning of your turn.
Okay, at the beginning of I have to roll a 19 or 20 here, so I don't think that's going to happen.
I tell Tohan, don't worry, be brave. I'm here with you.
Okay, it didn't. All right, do I see Mexa on the back still, or?
You can kind of see flashes of Mexa behind the globe of darkness that is still there.
So it's going to try throwing a spear at Mexa. To see if I can knock him off.
Okay, yeah, you can try.
So this will be with disadvantage. I got a nat 20, but that was a disadvantage. That's a 19 to hit.
Okay, you actually hear a scream let out. Yeah, you'll pay for that.
All right. Well, he takes 11 damage.
All right.
And I'll throw another one at him for fun. Probably a 12 doesn't hit.
Does not hit.
Okay.
As long as you're going to pay, you might as well get your money's worth.
All right. Vanadia.
All right. What's my distance to the dragon right now?
You are right there. Boop. 8 times 5.
40.
So 40 feet away.
Okay. Let's see. I think I want to cast Zephyr Strike. I guess that's on my bonus action.
Okay.
Okay, so
Oh, and you were asking
yeah,
about
so for
you were asking about multiple attacks last time, so I read up on this. So
okay.
if you have the extra attack feature, it splits your attack action into 2 attacks. So you still are taking 1 action, but 2 specific attack actions within that action. So I think we were doing it wrong, but that's just as a heads up.
So yeah, okay. So I'm sorry. So that's for the 2-weapon fighting.
Yeah,
you mean?
for 2-weapon fighting, but because you have reached a certain level where you get extra attack, you would
Right.
be able to use your extra attack with your 2-hand weapon fighting.
Oh, really? So that's
it's
for
only, yeah, it's a total of it would be a total of, with the extra attack it's 2, and then the offhand is a 3rd one. So was that how we were doing it?
yeah, that's how
Okay,
we're doing it.
okay,
And then
then
with an action surge, then it would be 5.
It'd be 5 all day. Yes.
Right. And with the
Or no, I'm sorry, it would be 6 all day with the action surge, because you get to redo your attack action, which is really 2 attacks.
okay.
So it'd be 2 plus 1 for bonus, 2 plus 1 for bonus. So that's
Oh, nice.
yeah. So it works out good that way.
Yeah. So with the Hunter's Mark, you deal 1d6 damage with any weapon attack. So I'd be rolling that. If I did an action surge and had 6 attacks, I'd be doing 1d6
An
on
extra d6
any
on
of them.
each attack. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anything that hit.
that hit. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you, you're the fast, choppy, slashy ranger fighter guy.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to get happen. Finally got there. Cool. Yeah. So basically, right now I don't have for 1 minute. I guess I don't provoke opportunity attacks with my movement. So I'm going to, if that's my bonus action, I guess my action is going to be to dart off, kind of like running in the direction to run past the dragon.
Okay.
While he's kind of preoccupied with these guys throwing weapons at him and stuff.
Okay, so like this way?
I guess that way-ish, yeah.
Okay, so that's 30 feet right there.
And I guess that's probably my turn then.
Okay, so that was, you just took your bonus action, you're not taking an action? Did you want to ready an action or anything?
Well, oh no, actually, I'm sorry. No, the action was supposed to be my dash. That's what I meant to do.
Oh, you wanted to dash as
Yeah,
well?
so I'll
Okay,
dash.
you can
Yeah, so I
another
can
30
get
feet
kind
then.
of past there because I was
Yeah,
40. You
absolutely.
said, right? So if I run,
that was 30 that I've moved you.
right?
What's your
No, but I'm
movement?
saying he was 40 away. You said. So I was
yeah.
thinking I could run kind of past him, but because I cast the Zephyr Strike, I won't provoke an opportunity.
Oh yeah,
so
you wouldn't have been close enough for an opportunity anyways from him right now.
No, but I mean if I dashed past him to get behind him.
You're saying like run straight at him, but then keep going.
Kind of, basically, yeah. I was trying to get on the other side of him.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Hang
I
on.
think you mean like he's like Naruto running past the dragon.
I got you.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Let me
Yeah.
do it this way then. I'll move you back 12. So that's where you were. Was right there. So you're trying to go like this.
Yeah, and I guess
Yeah,
60 from.
But stay out of his opportunity attack range. So like there.
Well,
It doesn't matter because I just use Zephyr Strike,
Oh.
so for 1 minute I won't provoke any opportunity attacks.
Oh,
So I'm gonna try to kind of like zip along his feet, like out of his like in his blind spot behind him, sort of.
If you can dash or dodge as a bonus action, then you could do it all in one turn.
Yeah, I just did a dash just now as my action. So
As a bonus action, though, like you can then double it up because a dodge is an action, dash is an action.
oh yeah, I don't
It's
have.
like certain things give you can do it as a bonus. Like rogues can do it. Maybe
Yeah,
rangers
I
can
can't.
at certain times.
I don't see that on mine, but
Okay.
All right, so is this where you
Say
wanted
that
to
would let you
wind
get
up?
like multiple things in one turn.
hmm
You wanted to end right over here. You said basically, right? Like kind
just
of behind
60.
him.
I guess 60 feet from where I was. If that's like,
Yeah,
if he was,
this is 60 feet
that's
from
about
where
it.
you were,
Yeah,
and then
gotcha.
behind him, kinda. Okay.
Yeah,
And they're
that
still
works for me.
covered by darkness, so I don't.
Mhm.
They probably can't see
Yeah,
him anyway.
he's got disadvantage on stuff right now.
Mhm.
All right, so it is now the dragon's turn. Let's see, what does the dragon do this turn? The dragon blindly exhales a large poisonous gas in a 90-foot cone directly in front of him. So let's see, 90-foot cone. This is where I wish I had the templates thing all set up for this. I should have grabbed them and put them in here. Because I have, like, a thing for the 3D tabletop that is, like, spell templates that gives you an actual cone and stuff. But for right now, I will say... Tohan and Guilfoyle, you both need to take... or make a DC 22 Constitution saving throw.
Christ. Oh boy.
I'll use my guidance here. Oh, nat 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
7.
I assist
Ouch.
Tohan by telling him, it's going to be okay, buddy. I'm here with you.
See, in my mind, what happens is you're standing right behind Tohan, and he gets the full brunt of this chlorine gas, and you just happen to be standing in a spot, like not intentionally. You didn't do it like on purpose. You just happen to be standing in the right spot where the gas sort of goes around you and doesn't seem to directly hit you at all.
Keep telling him, simmer down, big fella.
All right. However, you still take some poison damage on your successful saving throw. It'd be 34 damage to you, Guilfoyle. Tohan, you take 77 damage.
Cool.
Poison.
Mine's half. Mine's half because I'm raging though.
Okay.
So 34.
Yep.
Oh my god.
So it's like you literally just absorb it, and then Guilfoyle just gets kind of what goes around you.
You both have the plus 12, right? I think I already
Not
said
anymore.
Okay, and now you can hear chanting coming
Morin's
from the back of the dragon where Mexa is, and you begin to see a bright pink glow come from behind this this ball of darkness surrounding the dragon's head. And you recognize that pink glow as the same pink glow that surrounded the gem that he used to teleport you guys across the planet or across the continent before. Except for this time, he doesn't try to teleport you. Let's see. Find my phone here.
That would have been nice.
Alright. This time. Sorry, let me check and see how far away this guy is here. Yep. Come on, phone. Oh, he's not gonna be able to get you. Alright. So, from the back of the dragon comes a blast of lightning that arcs out over the top of both Tohan and Guilfoyle as though it was aimed at them. And it comes streaking down and burns a line between those two and Maggie. It stops maybe 10 feet short of Maggie, however. And you hear Curses! From the back of the dragon. And then we cut back to Valk again for a moment. Valk, please make me another athletics check.
24.
Oh my. Alright.
Nice. And you're really thriving in this law plane.
I was meant to be here. Thank you for killing me again.
Okay. So you make it the rest of the way to the top of this peak. And you find yourself kind of on this little precipice with a door in front of you. And on it says your final test is that of humility. And beneath this is a large kind of insignia, or a series of insignias that you recognize, several of them as being various gods of the realm that have to do with law and order. And you actually see on there Orun's symbol as well.
Oh,
And that
yeah.
gives you kind of a reaffirmed feeling that you're in the right place.
By the way, Zach, when you get the chance, check your messages about my god.
Okay.
Because yeah. But anyhow, okay. So I see all the symbols of the law gods, and I got mine there too.
Yep. Yep, and like I said, an inscription on the door just reads, your last challenge is one of humility.
I kneel down and I pray.
Okay. As you begin your prayer, the door swings open, and you look up, and there does not seem to be a champion of law before you, but a miserly, decrepit old man with a long gray beard. He smells. He's balding and has kind of lesions and sores all over him, and he says, "Well, what do you want?"
I am looking for the avatar.
Which avatar? We get a lot of avatars around here.
Kalimvor.
Oh, yeah, alright. You must be Valk. Come on in. He turns and
Thanks.
sort of... he's like holding his back, like his back really hurts. And he leads
What does
the
the
way.
place look like, Zach, in here?
Bless you.
Bless.
Sorry.
Um,
I didn't realize my mic was open all the time.
So you walk into what appears to be a very neat and orderly hall. Rows of filing cabinets are on one wall. Picture frames adorned perfectly in unison on one wall. On the opposite wall, and all these pictures seem to have small mosaics of various events that have happened throughout the realms. You see things that you recognize, like the tales of the ancient spell plague and things like that being played out, battles between gods. But they are all hung in a way that they are very organized and very, like, they look very feng shui if it were a thing. And he leads you down a narrow hallway, and on each side of the door, or each side of the hallway, the doors are lined up perfectly, and in between each door is a perfectly spaced mirror. And as you pass, you kind of notice a little spot of dirt on your armor and sort of rub it away really quick.
How did dirt follow me to heaven? But okay.
Well, you're also still carrying
That's true, I
a
know.
crown that is particularly out of place in this lawful good realm. And the old guy didn't seem to make any note of it. He just sort of looked at it for a moment and just ignored it. But he leads you down this long hallway until you reach the very end of it. And he opens a door, and in this impossibly large room, you can't imagine how this room would actually fit on this cliff that you just climbed up. Is because I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, and everything should be like a TARDIS. You see sitting before you at the head of this long table a man adorned in golden armor with silver lining along it, and he's got a long blonde head of hair and a full beard, and he turns and looks at you, and you can tell that everything about him is arranged in a very orderly fashion. And he says, "Well, you must be Valk, of the Wardens of Orun. I tell you, they've been doing very good work down there. So,
Who do I have the honor of speaking with?
well, I suppose most people where you're from would call me Kellamvor, although I do go by other names as well. I am the god of the dead." And the old man goes, "Yeah, but you're not the god of death." He goes, "Oh, Merkil, shush." And the old man just kind of goes, meh, 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 makes like a little like face.
All right. As soon as I hear that he announces himself as Kellamvor, I kneel down and I offer him the crown, and I say, "I believe this belongs to you."
He says, "No, that's not one of mine, that's one of his," and points at the old man. And at this point, the old man is kind of staring at the crown, but like not, like he just looks sad when he's looking at it. He's like, "I have no use for that thing anymore."
All right. I'm going to fill the old man in on the Lich King, and since the law here is that all that live have to eventually die, this Lich King is returning to life the wrong way. So I'm going to offer him the crown instead, if that's what the Avatar is telling me to do.
So, the Avatar of Kellamvor looks at you and says, "Well, I'm afraid I don't think it's going to be as simple as you think it's going to be. You see, we know of your Malakani, this Lich. We've seen what he's been doing, and yes, I agree, he's a crime against nature. He's an abomination against magic. We believe we know what he's trying to accomplish as well. He seems to be attempting to acquire the power of the old gods. You see, even gods are not immune to the law. As you well know as a follower of Orun, as you said, all that lives must die. That is really the only true law in the universe, that everything that lives dies. That, and that you'll probably have to pay taxes at some point. But,"
And I always do.
he says, "Merkel himself here was once one of these old gods, weren't you, Merkel?" And the old man kind of sneers and he says, "Yes, and I'm still one of the new gods, aren't I?" And he says, Kellamvor kind of nods. He says, "You see, I am the god of the dead. I watch over their souls and I assign them to, well, their relegated fates, as it were. When someone such as yourself, who worships law devoutly, dies, especially in service of his faith, he comes here to Mount Celestia. Normally, I let some of the lower kind of members of this order take care of things. I don't usually do these personal appearances. But in your case, I've decided to make an exception. You see, I can't be here and down there and keep an eye on him at the same time," and sort of points at Merkel with his thumb. Merkel says, "Yeah," like that. "You see, I may be the god of the dead, but Merkel here, he is the god of death itself. He is the old god of death. Whereas I am the eternal peace that comes from death. He is the fear of the unknown that men associate with it. We are two sides of the same coin, and one of us may not exist without the other, but I can do something else," he says.
I'm listening.
"Your god, Orun. As I said, he's done good work on Tyrell. I'm, sort of what you might call his commanding officer, to put it in terms your mortal brain might understand. He tends to report to me, and he's particularly impressed with the way that you've converted some of the former followers of Grumsh and of Orcus. We didn't think such a thing would be possible. Perhaps you could serve as an avatar of Kalimvor on your mortal plane.
I would be honored.
He says, we understand your lich, Malakani. He has taken a pair of powerful twins captive. And it seems your friends have rescued one of these two twins, but the other is quite in his thrall at the moment. And he kind of waves his hand, and on the table in front of him comes like this HD picture of what's going on back at the camp over here. And you can kind of see the Dracolich. He says he's allied himself with a powerful interplanar being, a dragon named Paul. I can't pronounce that name.
Debrishnaprapal?
Yeah, something to that effect, he says.
Oh, okay.
Debrishnaprapal.
He
says, as we speak, your friends are defending your body. So, I must tell you a few things before you go, but I think that, for now you must return to the mortal plane. I don't think you're ready to be here quite yet, are you, Valk?
To be honest, I was kind of hoping for a trip back for free.
Yes, it's not very often that we validate parking. And at this point, Merkel says, but wait! We must tell him. Tell him of the rod. Tell him of his elf companion.
Oh, the elf, the magical elf with her magical stick. Yes.
Yes. You see, there is one thing that can destroy these old gods. It was created long ago. It's called the Rod of 7 Parts. Your party possesses 2 of these 7. You must seek out the other 5 if you wish to prevent your lich from becoming undestroyable.
Okay.
Says,
so I have to help her find the sticks now too.
I know for a fact two of my former compatriots, Baal and Bane, they would know where at least one part of the stick is. And I'm calling it a stick. One part of the rod is. They would be able to.
That charismatic.
Yeah.
Guilfoyle's dancing with his hands on his head, dancing behind Tohan, showing him, look at my stick, look at my stick. I'm cheering you up, Don't be scared, look at
the stick. Stick, boy, stick.
So,
you want to see my downstairs mix-up? You like Bailey's?
So at this point,
rich and creamy beige.
We can we'll do like a cool fade transition right into the table where Valk's looking, and now we're back in the scene with the rest of the combatants here. At this point, one of the orcs screams out, General Lashnak, we got a third party coming in. Doesn't look friendly either. And looking farther back on these mud plains, you can see what appears to be a large swarm of these Neogi creatures that you guys had come across in the sewers of Kalia, or in the crypts of Kalia, I believe it was. Venadia, you recognize them immediately, of course, as being the same thing that you had been tracking.
Mm-hmm.
And they are just literally clattering in an insectoid manner. Like, this is 100% like picture Starship Troopers when the first
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah, when they start scrambling across the horizon, that's exactly what you're seeing now with like maybe 10 of these things just skittering along the ground really fast. And they're closing pretty quick on the back side of this Dracolich here.
Dracolich.
Beam us up, Scotty.
Sorry, zombie dragon. I shouldn't have said Dracolich. He's not a Dracolich. Technically, that would imply he's also a lich. He's technically just kind of a zombified dragon. Alright, let's see. Who'd we leave off on?
I think I'm next.
Yep, looks like it. So Arianth, what would you like to do?
All right. So how far away are these the purple things coming in?
They are, let's see, from the very front of those guys to like your little camp over here is 50 times 5, so about 250 feet away from the front line there.
250 feet.
Yep. They're somewhere around
So-
about 100 feet away from the dragon, it looks like. And at this point, Tohan and Guilfoyle, you can both hear, being close enough to the dragon, you actually hear kind of a startled cry come from the back of the dragon as well. What?
Oh, so they're not expecting them. Interesting. All right.
Zach, I might have missed it, but what was the effect of that line of fire that Nexa drew?
It's just a raised up earth mound, so it's sort of like protective cover that for anybody that's inside of it.
Or oh no, I meant the thing that the spell that Nexa cast.
Oh, it was like a lightning bolt. It didn't actually hit anybody.
Gotcha.
Because I looked at the range on it and I was like, she can't. The where he's supposed to be standing couldn't actually hit anybody. But I didn't have another plan for that turn, so he just missed.
Gotcha.
How close to the dragon is Valadia?
Like 5 feet away, maybe. Pretty close.
All right. If I was to cast erupting earth that has a 20-foot radius, could I do it in a way that it keeps Valadia out of it?
Yeah,
Just
you can hit the other side of the dragon for sure. Dragon's pretty
All right.
big.
Yeah. All right. So, because I'm gonna, if the sorcerer is surprised at those bug buys coming in, I'm gonna hold off on attacking them because maybe they're gonna attack the dragon. Unless.
No, I think attacking the dragon makes sense.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna cast erupting earth, which means they have to, both the dragon and I assume the twin would have to do a dexterity saving throw against 14.
Dragon's got a +8 on his dex. Wow. That is a 24 for the dragon.
Okay.
Mexa, however, he has a +1. Mexa rolled a 14. What was the save for it?
14.
Okay, so Mexa just makes it. Like, you actually see his bony hand kind of holding on to one of the bones on this dragon and flopping off and then climbing back up on, so he, like, almost fell off.
All right. Well, they still have to get half the damage of 3d12 for that.
Okay.
Let me just roll that real quick. All right, that was a total of 34, so half of that would be 17
17, yep.
for both of them. And the terrain that they're on now is difficult
Okay.
until cleared.
And again, you hear more Skeletor-like cries from the back of this dragon, like, Wah! It's totally how I'm picturing him talking. I'll get you, He-Man.
My pretty.
Yeah.
So that that was the range of that was 120 feet. So just assume that I kind of moved up into range quickly to cast that and then move right back.
Yep. Yeah, because that would get you. Yeah, you only moved about 15 feet from your 120. So yeah, you could probably do that. Okay. So
Yeah, my walking's 35, so.
Okay. Maggie.
First move the
Why is that so small?
spiritual weapon 20 feet closer. Is that within 5 feet of it?
Yeah, we'll say it's right up to it.
Okay, so give that dragon a smack. I don't know why. I have better internet here, which is awesome, but I still can't roll dice on the like the browser version for some reason. All right.
I'll have to look because there is like an enable disable dice rolling thing, but I thought it was just for the overlay. I didn't think it was for actual dice rolling. It's weird.
Gotcha. Yeah, shit. Well, it's a 15, so that probably doesn't hit.
15 does not hit the dragon.
Okay. Oh wait, sorry. 15 plus D4. I forgot I'd given myself. 16.
Still doesn't hit the dragon.
All right, so that's bonus action. How far is she from Gofoil and Tohan?
About 30 feet.
Okay. She's going to cast Healing Word.
Word.
I guess on Tohan because he's more likely to take damage. So that's 16 plus. Let's see what her modifier is. Oh no, I guess that's 16 altogether. 16 to Tohan.
Cool, thanks.
Yep. And yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, she's still kind of yelling at this dragon, like Malakani has deceived you. The orcs were only pawns, and But anyway, now that the dragon's a zombie, it probably doesn't give a shit.
Make me a persuasion check.
All right. $22.
Alright, so as you're continually berating this dragon about the Malakani having betrayed it, you can hear kind of from the back of the dragon Mexa shouting, "It's all lies, don't believe them." And the dragon sort of gives pause for a second. Says, "It matters not, little worms. I shall have my weapons back. And if I am being betrayed by the Lich, then he shall suffer as well." And at this point, Mexa doesn't say anything else. Doesn't, continue yelling. Just gets quiet, we'll say.
What's Ashnak doing in all this?
At this point, Ashnak has been relaying commands on the radio. And he shouts out, "Alright, I got good news and bad news. Bad news is we got an incoming pack of fucking bugs. We hate these goddamn things. They rip us to shit every time we come up against them. Good news is we got air support on its way in. ETA 5 minutes. We also got other bad news. Turns out we got some of our scouts said that we got a small battalion of undead headed our way as well. ETA about 3.5 minutes.
All right, Volk, you need to come back with some serious divine powers.
Right. So, back in Mount Celestia, Bob, I was telling these guys I couldn't come up with a good My Little Pony joke for Mount Celestia. I think that is the joke right there.
Yeah, that.
Let me just go over my notes and make sure that I didn't miss anything that I was supposed to tell you while you were in Celestia. Yeah, did that. So it seems the short of what Merkel and Kalimvor tell you is that Malakani is trying to gain the power of the gods and essentially, as far as they can tell, wipe out all life on Tyrell. Both the good and evil lawful gods are pretty dead set against this. They're not very happy about this. And being that Kalimvor and Merkel have this unique situation where Kalimvor cannot trust Merkel to leave his realm, he will appoint you as his current avatar on the material plane. They also show you that Malakani's forces are in fact about halfway across the continent. Like, it literally comes up like where you can see this wave of destruction. He points out a few locations where they might be going to seek the powers of these old gods, and he gives them to you on a map. And he reminds you that death is the one law all must obey, even the gods themselves. But for now, you must return back to your friends so that you can continue on your quest. And he says, remember, if you put the crown on, it will destroy it. For now. The crown has a way of reforming itself. It's even outside of Merkel's power. It does draw from him, but it also benefits him when you do this. So please be aware. There may be repercussions of whatever you do with that crown. And lastly, Merkel speaks up and tells you that he knows where Bane resides out of his two former companions. He says, deep in his dungeon fortress in the plane of Pandemonium. If you go there, you may be able to recover another of the rods. And you may be able to prevent Malakani from getting there first. And other than that, they're ready to send you back to the plane. Is there anything else you wanted to say to them before you go?
Okay, just to be clear with those two, they're suggesting that I not put the crown on, even though I am acting as avatar of Kalimvor.
He's telling you there's going to be consequences no matter what you do with the crown, essentially. Something will happen whether or not you destroy it. Essentially he's just telling you that the wheels of fate are turning and your choice will make a difference.
So destroy it or put it on, either way.
Well, if you put it on as the avatar of Kalimvor, it will destroy the crown.
Can the crown be used as a weapon against Malakani's forces?
Merkel tells you it can. Kalimvor sort of seems to not think it's such a great idea.
And Kalimvor is the neat and proper one, and
Yeah,
Merkel's the weird, creepy, smelly old man.
Yeah.
Okay. So crown bad. Okay. Then I would only ask if I'm serving as avatar. I would only ask if you're going to send me back. Can I can I come back well rested?
You already were, weren't you? Oh wait, oh yeah.
Well, he was when he went to this realm, but
He'd normally come back at one hit
he
point.
says, unfortunately for you, that's his call. And he kind of points at Merkel. Kalimvor does. And Merkel just smiles and shrugs.
Sounds like a job for the foam dice.
If it's the will of the gods, then I will return and advise that we go to the plane of Pandemonium. However, one final question. If I'm already on this plane, wouldn't it be easier to send me to that plane? Or are we saying that I should go with my gang?
If you wish to be sent to Pandemonium, I can send you to Pandemonium. But it would appear that your friends may need your help. They are in quite dire circumstances.
Okay. So the only way to get this guy is to get the magic stick for the elf lady. Damn it. Okay. Put me back.
Alright. So you awake with a start. And the first thing that you see is a giant dragon, zombie dragon, a few hundred feet away. So that's probably a bit of a shock. Will you roll me a wisdom save? Unless you already made it, didn't you? Before you died.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's still within 24 hours. So you wake up and you're like, huh, he's undead. Okay. Like, it doesn't really seem to phase you.
What is my situation?
You wake up with 1 hit point.
1. Spectacular.
One of the orcs that's standing nearby goes, "Hey, the chaplain's up! Nice!" Ashnak at this point screams out, "All right, boys! Don't fire until you see the spot where its eyes used to be in its skull." And at this point, several of the Marines unleash a volley of, we'll call it machine gun-ish fire. And it does not seem to do shit to the dragon. Like, maybe a few little bits of bone pop off here and there, but the dragon does not really seem fazed by it. Like, bullets are going through it. Alright, and, at this point, I'm gonna find out where you are in the initiative. I'll stick you right there. Okay. Maggie, you had just gone, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Guilfoyle, your turn.
You're on mute, Will.
Am I the green next to the red?
Yes.
Yeah.
And how far are we away?
From the dragon?
Yeah.
You are, looks like, about 35 feet or so.
Okay, I will move and then dash as a bonus action and then attack Mecha.
Okay. So you're trying to get up on
14.
Are you trying to get up
Yes.
onto the dragon?
Yeah,
Okay.
why not?
Just make me an acrobatics check to see if you can get up there. Either acrobatics or athletics, I guess.
Only a 9. I rolled a 2.
Alright, let me see what the dragon rolls. Only a 9.
That also is, by the way, what I was going to try to do.
So, you are not able to gain purchase on the dragon itself to get up to hit Nexa. So, yeah, you kind of scramble partway up the thing's leg, but it sort of shakes its leg and shakes you back down and off from there.
I can respect that.
Anything else?
That's my bonus and attack action and my move action. I'm done, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Tohan. You can make another save as well to see if you can become unfrightened of this thing.
All right, let's see if I roll a 19 or a 20, I guess. No, I rolled an 18.
Okay.
Guilfoyle passed his guidance to him, if I could do that.
You already made a bonus action though, right? Well, you can do it as a reaction.
Well,
right?
I was trying to do it last turn by saying, "Hey, buddy, come on, you can do it."
Okay, well, yeah, we can do guidance on it.
You got an extra D4, so
Well, I only missed
only
it by
needed a
one.
one.
No
So
matter
you
So-
automatically pass that then, yeah. Okay, so you're able to kind of shake yourself out of the this frightened state.
Nice. I roared away, and can I get up there and try to climb the dragon to get up next to her? Or?
Yeah, he's about 30 feet away from you. 30, 35.
I got 40 feet of movement, so
Okay, so yeah, either athletics or acrobatics to try and get up the dragon's leg while it's moving around.
Not great. I only rolled a 3, but I got an 11 total.
Okay. You are able to, because he only has a +1 on his dex that I'm contesting it with, so, and he rolled like shit, so he got a 4. So you're able to kind of scramble up the leg. Like, you see Guilfoyle slide back down, and you're like, hey, good idea. And then you go running up it. Go ahead and make your attack.
Cool. I'm going to attack Nexa recklessly. Uh, 19 to hit.
19 does hit.
11 damage. And do the same thing. Ooh, natural 20.
Nice. That's a hit.
That's pretty good. 28 damage. I forgot to add the +3 last time too, so you should have 3 more damage. So from the last attack, because I'm raging.
All right, so where I'm at -31 instead of -28. Gotcha.
Yeah. So 31 and then 11 from before.
Right,
So 42 total.
This frail, skinny kid whose father just died and his sister is half fucking catatonic. You run up the side of this this undead dragon and you just bash him across the face twice with your axe, and he's torn open. He's bleeding now. He's not very bloodied. He's bloodied. Sorry. And as you do this, he seems to kind of lose a bit of concentration on something that he was hanging on to, and the dragon sort of shakes its head, and then it lets out a roar of absolute anger, like it just figured out what's been going on, like something was controlling it, perhaps Mexa, and it is now very pissed off. Venadia, your turn, unless there's anything else to on.
No, I don't really have anything as a bonus action.
Okay, has Nexa been thrown off the dragon? Or can I get to Nexa?
No, Mexa with an M.
Nexa,
But,
yeah, sorry.
But Mexa is still on the dragon. For how much longer, not sure.
We don't
Yeah, is
want
there a
to
way that I can like?
necessarily.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we don't necessarily want to kill Mexa, do we?
Right. No, I wanted to slap the dimensional shackles on him, but I didn't know if I could get up there, like run.
I mean,
up
if
the tail or
Mexa
something like
dies,
that.
it's not a bad thing.
Well, yeah, I'm afraid he might be already dead, but
I mean, I think even if you do, like, we can cast Gentle Repose on him and bring him back.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
What do the shackles do again?
Well, I just we can kind of incapacitate him, and I don't know if there's some value to you guys if we can apprehend him rather than just kill him.
well, that takes away his somatic components of casting spells and stuff like that. So
Yeah. But I don't think there is much of a downside to killing him, really, because we can bring him back.
Probably really
But if
hurt,
we can shackle him and
might
keep
hurt
him
his
and make,
sister's feelings, but
well, I mean, if we can use the shackles and basically immobilize him and get him off the dragon, that would work just as well, wouldn't it?
That was my thinking. It's up to you guys, though. I'm open to just slashing him up.
all right. So what are we doing?
As someone who's died and come back, I say, kill him, and we'll see what the gods say.
Fair enough. I am neutral on it. I'm just throwing out suggestions.
Tawan's still pissed he turned him gray last time and then teleported him away.
Yeah,
All right,
is that what he said when he hit him? He's like, "Turn me gray, motherfucker."
Nick, you're really good at these backgrounds. I like that you pull the undead looking back here, too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is probably close to what Tohan looks like.
Nice.
Nice. All right, well, I guess we'll kill him then. But my question is like, where exactly on the dragon's back is he?
Like mid back, sort of rattling around now because after that, after the explosion of Earth that Ariant sent up, and then after getting smacked by Tohan, he's probably not like mounted the same way that he was before. He's probably sort of just stumbling around on its back somewhere. He's within one movement of you getting up there. You would still have to pass like an acrobatics or an athletics to try to climb up it.
All right, I'll try that then.
Okay. So either acrobatics or athletics to try to get up to him.
That's a 20, but not a nat 20.
Okay. And based on the dragon's dex, 16. So yeah, you were able to do it. It's a little sketchy. The dragon sort of now is like getting tired of people climbing up him, so he's like flailing a little bit more, but he only got a 17, so you are able to get to somewhere's adjacent to Mexa and get your attack off if you wish.
So Mexa's bloodied. I think I'm going to do my action surge here. And, yeah, slash 6 times.
You're going to do choppy chops. Gotcha.
Choppy chops.
That's going to be a hit. That's going to be a miss. That's a hit. That's a miss.
I'm back.
So 2 hits, looks like.
Yeah. 2. Did you roll all 6?
I think I did. Let me look back again.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
so
a
yeah.
20. There's a 20 and a 20. I'm sorry, 21 and a 22 in there.
Oh, okay. I was
No,
looking at the acrobatics roll. That's fine. Yep.
No
okay.
crits in there.
So yeah, you're able to hit twice. It's like once with the short sword and twice with the short sword. You're able to hit.
Yeah, cool. All right, so that's 9 damage.
All right. Let's see. He's still in the bloodied territory. Not very bloodied yet. Close. As you do that, Mexa, as a reaction, teleports away.
Son of a gun.
Should have did the shackles. Damn it.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to teleport away.
Yep,
really?
that's the whole thing.
Let's see. Valk, I'm going to put you in right before the dragon, since you were sort of on a separate initiative, so I'll just stick you in here. So you are over here, kind of by Arianth, way over here, with 1 hit point.
Okay, is the dagger still in my chest?
Yes.
I pull the dagger out.
All right. The wound sort of closes as you pull it out. Magic.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I'm at 1 hit point. So I'm probably I'm wondering how many things I can do during my turn because I can't attack right now. I have to put on my splint mail and I also need to heal myself. So am I allowed to do both things this round or no?
Donning your armor, we'll call that your free action, and healing yourself would be your regular action then.
All right, you can lay on hands. Stupid question. Lay on hands to yourself, right?
Yes, yep.
That allowed? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna
Ask Bill. I do it all the
knock
time.
myself and pretty much burn through almost all of it. So I'm gonna heal myself for like 25.
Okay.
And my armor's back on.
And you still
If
have,
that's
you
all.
still have movement if you want to move.
And I wake up and I've got the dagger in one hand and the crown in the other, right?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm aware of my surroundings at this point. Like, I see where I am.
Yeah,
I don't see. Sorry.
yeah, you can see everything that's going on. It's a big open plain, other than this one statue that's right here that Arianth is kind of standing by.
Okay. Well, if I have one more action, then let's see.
Well, you have a movement action.
Oh, I just have a
Yeah, you
movement.
just have a movement.
Then I am going to move. Let's see, probably up closer, going towards. Who's the orange? Is that Maggie or
That
is
is
that?
Maggie. Yep.
I'm gonna move closer into Maggie and tell her about all the great news that I went to heaven and everything.
Okay, so you're around there, so 30 feet, right?
Yeah, that's my movement max.
Okay.
30.
So, a couple of things happen now. One, you see this swarm of Neogi crash kind of into the back of the dragon. A few of them actually begin to kind of rake at the dragon. Unfortunately for all involved, they also begin kind of raking at all of you. I'll say most of them kind of hit the back of the dragon here. And a few of them continued to kind of charge toward the little area of encampment. These things are quite fast. They're moving pretty quick. So let's see. Let's see how much damage did they do. Okay. Several attacks land on the dragon, and it takes some damage and lets out a powerful roar. It then turns and it throws both Venadia and Tohan from it. If you guys would like to both please make dexterity saves to see if you can land without taking any fall damage from this 20-foot tall, 30-foot tall dragon.
Okay, I get advantage on dexterity saving throws too.
Okay.
All right, I got a 20, but not a net 20.
19.
Okay, yeah, you're both able to kind of, you both do like the cool like anime slide backwards landing, like cloud of dust coming up. This dragon turns and it unleashes. Oh, has it been 5 rounds yet? That's not. Shoot. It begins to unleash its poisonous breath and then kind of chokes a little bit, like it doesn't have fuel for it. And instead it goes in and bites and claws at these things. The speedy way. One hit. Okay, so it chomps down and it actually crunches one of these things into kind of crunchy gooey bits, like this green kind of bug goo comes rolling out of it, and the dragon immediately spits it out. Lets out another roar. Arianth, your turn. And at this point, you begin to hear a familiar sound. The sound of fife and drums coming over the hills. Something that you guys had heard before. But I can't play it because I'll get copyright hit for YouTube. Damn you, Viacom! I don't know if it's actually Viacom. It's probably not. So yeah, Arianth, it is your turn at the moment. You are suspicious that there may be an army of dead about to march over the hills.
All right. I have my if I use the once a day action of the rod of healing to cure wounds for Valk, is that my main action?
Yes, that would be your action.
All right, yeah, I'll do that because Valk needs more healing.
Okay, so you have to move up to him to touch him, so that leaves you with about 5 feet of movement afterwards, I think. Or I'm sorry, you're 35,
Alright, well,
so 10 feet of movement afterwards. But yep, you can do that.
Okay, I use my once a day cure wounds on Vulcan and I move back as far as I can.
Okay.
So she's right next to me right now, is that right?
Yeah, she just moved up and cured you and then moved back about 10 feet.
For how many?
It's a level 2 cure wounds,
Okay.
so I'm not sure. I don't have the information on how to roll that, Zach. You'd have to.
Oh,
Fill me in here.
one second. I believe.
Level 2 cure wounds is 1d8 for every level, I think. So second level or higher. So it would be probably 2d8 would be my guess.
Do I roll it or does Valk since I?
Either one of you can. Let me just double check it.
Why don't you roll it, Valk, since you've had
You
such
roll.
good dice?
Yeah, it's 1d8 plus your,
I'm going to roll the.
it's plus your spellcasting ability modifier. And then, yeah, second level or higher, so it's at second level automatically. So it'd be 2d8 plus whatever your spellcasting modifier is, Jen.
That would be
5 and a 4, 9.
plus. My spellcasting modifier would be +3.
Okay, so
Cool, that's another 12.
12 points.
Magic Elf Lady, thank you. By the way, good news. I'm going to help you find your sticks.
Awesome, thanks.
Which is weird because you've actually probably, I don't think, ever actually mentioned the Rod of Truth to, or the rods to Valk, what you knew about. So you might find that actually strange. Like, how does he know about that? Well, he was just talking to gods.
I'll make a note to myself to speak to him later when we're not in such a dire situation.
Oh, you think this is dire? You just wait. All right. So Maggie, it is your turn. And the fife and drum music is continuing to get louder and louder as we speak.
It's Maggie's turn.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, things are breaking up. a little. She'll again yell to the dragon. Do you see the deception?
You're breaking up, Dave.
Oh no.
Shit. All right, I'll sign him from my phone. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the first thing she'll do is yell to the dragon, do you see the deception that Malakani's wrought upon you?
Okay. It seems you speak true, little worm. Still, all shall perish here this day.
Maggie says, if we survive, we can make things right between us. And I guess she'll move the spiritual weapon to the yogi that's closest to Guilfoyle on them.
Okay.
And use that. Oops. Wait. Shit. That's only a 9, so I'm sure that misses.
That is a miss.
How far is she from Volk, and what's his HP at?
Let's see. Not too far here. She is about 20 feet.
I'm at
Okay.
38 out of 58 BT dubs, so I'm still kind of. I mean, I'm looking much better than being totally
not too bad.
dead.
Okay.
So those guys are in.
Jen, do you have... Sorry.
I'm sorry, Dave. I didn't
Jen,
catch you.
do you have the information on the summon elemental spell thing that we have?
No, I didn't. I do not, because it was just something that Zach gave me, and I just drew into my inventory. It should come up in the inventory of D&D Beyond as to what it does.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it literally will summon an air elemental wherever you break the gem. I will give you the caveat because
I
I'm
think
a
I'm
nice
gonna
DM.
go ahead and do that. I'm sorry, my internet just kind of crapped out, so I'm gonna sign in from my phone. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and summon that air elemental.
Okay. Where are you breaking the gem?
I guess Maggie will kind of rush in and then break it as close to, Guilfoyle and Tohan and them as she can.
All right.
Oh.
Get you moved over.
Or actually, wait a second. Is it a concentration thing or no?
Nope, not at all.
'Cause
It's like it's kind of like a Pokeball, except for because I'm a nice DM, I'll give you the caveat. You were never told that you would be in control of said air elemental, just that it would release an air elemental. I would assume
Gotcha.
that whichever of the companions were explaining that to you would have told you that.
Okay. Hold on a sec. Okay. Well, maybe that's not worth risking then. um, all right. So how close is she to Guilfoyle and Tohan and them and Venadia?
Vanadia is kind of in between a rock and a hard place over here on the back side of the dragon.
Yeah. But she's like over 60 feet away, it looks like.
Oops. Did not mean to move you there. Shoot. Back where you were. Yeah, it's roughly 10 squares, so about 50 feet actually from Toan and Guilfoyle.
Okay.
So we got a bonus action and a movement so far, but still no regular action.
Yeah. What do y'all think? Is the air elemental too chaotic to risk?
I don't
Maybe
know.
if you could do it away from everybody.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, you could throw the gem, just to be clear. Like, you'd have to roll a attack roll to essentially throw it, but it wouldn't be. It's not going to be a high DC to break the gem. You know what I mean? Like, you could throw it within. I think it's like whatever your thrown weapon range is, probably 40 feet, maybe 60.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. What do y'all think? I guess I could ask Reggie. I mean, I've already done a lot of
I mean,
talking
like,
this turn.
you could throw it to the dragon. You could throw it to any of these Neogi over here, or as far over as the outside of these guys, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like an
I think I'd probably I'd throw it at the Nyoga between me and Venadia.
okay, like somewhere's over in here.
Yeah, I guess might as well. It sounds like we're about to have a bunch more to deal with anyway, so let's do it.
Let's see if I have an air elemental. I think I do. Cast it. Loop. What's going on now? Let's see if we got one. A-I-R. Hey, look at that. It's so slow. Alright, so somewhere's bloop over here. Air elemental. We'll make him a little bit bigger because he's supposed to be a large creature. That looks about right. And close that. And that. There. Alright, so yeah, you are able to chuck this gem and an air elemental appears. Now I have to look up air elemental. Thank you, Google. So yeah, just a blast of wind and some kind of thunder crackles, and this thing whirls into life. This big steaming cloud. Let's see where it winds up in the initiative order here. Plus 9 plus 5. 14. Okay. So he goes right for the dragon and after Velk. Alright. So Maggie, as soon as you throw this gem...
I don't know. Dave, are you here?
Yeah, Dave's muted.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Okay, I just saw it.
As soon as you throw this gem, the closest Neogis turn to attack this thing. And let's see what cool stuff it does to them. Okay. It immediately turns into a whirlwind. This affects everything in the elemental's space. Okay, so we'll say those 3 around it. 1, 2. They're not rolling well. Oh, there we go. One of them made it save. So far away. Alright, so 2 of them are flung about 20 feet away from this thing immediately. Bloop. And suffer some bludgeoning damage. How much bludgeoning damage? And they both look bloodied. This one right here made it save, so it kind of is probably propped up against like the dragon's tail or something. But it also takes some bludgeoning damage, and it does not look bloodied. These 2 are also both prone right now, so they're actually like knocked off their 6 feet that they have, which is kind of an accomplishment. And after that, it becomes Guilfoyle's turn. And now the music of the marching dead is as loud as it can be, and you begin to see them coming over the hills. Just rank after rank. And at the head of one of these ranks, we'll say Tohan, you would see this because you recognize him from anywhere, is General Agos himself. And what you can only assume, floating above in a cloud of kind of spectral hands, looking all scary and lich-like, is none other than Malakani himself.
Oh, fuck.
Plus it says that Malakani is Supreme Lord of the Undead, right there. That's what he likes to call himself in his spare time.
We're gonna need to make a decision about that crown real quick.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Ashnak at this point shouts out, "All Marines on deck! All fire as soon as you can acquire a target. Get out there, boys. We got about 2 minutes left until the air brigade comes. We're getting lifted out of here. Don't you worry. Everybody, all you civvies, fall back." At this point, many of the orcs begin they start rushing over the top of this barricade that they had been defending. Several of them rush to Valk's side as well, we'll say. But these guys are starting to head kind of in that direction. And like I said, it is Guilfoyle's turn. You there, Bill?
Is your mic off?
Hey, Bill, you're muted.
Oh, we might have lost Bill. You guys look around and Guilfoyle is nowhere to be found all of a sudden. He's Really sneaky. All right, Tohan.
Picking the dragon's pockets.
Yeah, probably. He's like, ooh, an air elemental. I wonder what he's got in his pockets.
Yeah, I don't know what I want to do here, but shit. I guess I'm going to yell to the dragon in Draconic and be like, Malakani made a fool of you, and he's right over there. And then go and start taking some swings at the Nyogi right near me.
All right. Make me a persuasion check with advantage. This dragon is already kind of pissed at Malakani because he seems to have realized that either Malakani or Mexa seem to have been controlling him.
Well, I mean, the good thing was with advantage because the first one was a nat 1, but 13 total. I'm not very persuasive.
Okay, so being that the forces of the undead have begun marching into sight, he sort of looks and he lets out another frightful roar. At which point, all of the Neogis. Oh, okay, they all save against that. They have advantage on being frightened, so the second one was a 20 for them. So they all kind of cringe back a little bit and then just dart back in and keep nipping at this dragon. It's like that scene in Jurassic Park with all the raptors and the T-Rex. All right, and your attack against the Nyogi was
24, and then
24 definitely hits.
Yeah, 15 damage for the first swing, and then a 26 to hit in the second,
Also a hit.
and that is not great. 9 more damage. I'm sorry, 10 more damage.
Okay.
Yep, because I have +3 on my rage now for damage.
Let's see. Maggie missed it with the spiritual weapon earlier. Okay, it is very bloodied already. You remember that these things, they crack and mush kind of easy.
And that's all I got.
All right. Venadia.
All right. I'm gonna get out of my little spot here. It's still. I'm sorry. So, 1 minute. That is 10 rounds. You said.
Technically 10 rounds. Yes.
All right. So I still should not be provoking opportunity attacks.
Correct.
All right. So I'm gonna dart out of there and back. I guess with Tohan and Guilfoyle, try to reinforce them and not be in my surrounded spot that I was in there.
Okay. We'll see you can get there in one movement.
Okay, and
35. I'll say it's 30.
maybe I guess just attack this Nyogi to my left there, or
Okay.
next to the air element.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll leave you right there then. All right, do it to it.
All right, so all right, I got a 10, a 6, and a 14.
Back to where I had mine. Come on, phone, work with me here. No, none of them are hits. Sorry.
Okie dokie.
Alright. Valk.
Bob, you're muted.
One of my 2 least favorite words. You're muted. Where's Malakani?
Malakani is far across these fields here. He is way over here. So he's like almost a football field away from you.
Okay, you think if I shout, he can hear me?
Maybe?
Do we sense that he's there? Because you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to scream out, Lich Lord. Were you looking for this? And I'm going to put the crown on.
You put the crown on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit.
As you place the crown on your head, 1980s special effects take over. Like full blown, like fucking purple rays are shooting out of this thing. And like it does that cool Star Trek effect where they use the sparkles in the glass of water in the background. Like it's completely green screened in there. And yeah, the crown goes up in a puff of smoke that slowly turns into a laughing skull's face that is very reminiscent of the god you were just talking to, Merkul. And when you do so, you can hear a blood-curdling scream from the other side of the battlefield. And immediately, the hordes of the undead begin charging forward. As fast as undead can shamble, essentially. Alright, that's a free action putting on the crown, so you still have... And it is now destroyed. The crown of horns is no longer in the realm of Turil. It's one less weapon that Malakani can use against you.
Is that dagger that I have magical at all?
The Jaham Death Dagger, yes. It is at least a +1 dagger, I remember that.
Okay.
I like that I typed JAH into the internet, and it's like, Jaham Death Dagger. You don't know me, Google. Shut up. I don't know if it's actually got stats for it. Yeah, so I will say that the Jaham Death Dagger is, we will say, a +1 to hit and to damage, and it carries with it the ability to damage old gods is a specific trait that it has. That is how it was used before, was to slay an old god. Which means that it must be a very ancient weapon. I actually have some stuff about it, but I can like post it in chat after the game or something.
Well, seeing as how, I'm just going to go ahead and try to equip this sucker. I don't know what the damage roll or anything is. And I don't know, move to, like, I see my friends are in danger, and I see a bunch of undead coming, probably. So whatever the closest bad guy is, and try to stab it.
So
I got 30 feet of movement, so...
So you can move to there. If you want to use your bonus action to dash, you can get closer to these guys. You can get anywhere up in here somewhere.
I mean, probably closer to the action, because obviously everyone up there close to the Dracolich is in danger. So yeah, put me kind of in the thick of it, closer to, let's say, Venadia, because Murder Lizard, and he'll go murder.
Okay. So yeah, you're still a few feet back from Venadia. You're like maybe 25, 30 feet back from her, but you're headed there. Alright, that would be your turn. The Air Elemental. What does it do? It already used its cool thing that it did. Back to where I was. Let's see. The Air Elemental makes 2 slam attacks. That's a nat 1. That was an 18, so it hits one of them. I'll say the only one that's near it still was that Nyogi. Let's see, 14 Alright, so when it does so, this Nyogi is essentially shattered by this force of just blunt force air hitting it. And it is now dead. The air elemental spins off in this direction, kind of towards these guys over here. Let's see. All of a sudden, you start hearing cheers of joy from the orcs, and you look up. And you see this come flying in towards your location. Clonk. This strange, almost cybernetic dragon that seems to be flapping its wings awkwardly at a slightly arrhythmic pace, like the left one is flapping slightly before the right one, so it keeps wobbling while it's flying. And it comes barreling in on kind of a crash course, headed right this direction, and it's right about there. Arianth, what would you like to do?
Let's see. I will cast Chaos Bolt. Trying to see where.
Oh, sorry.
How from where I am, how far am I from? Well, all right. First off, let's see. Sorry. I will take the first thing I'm gonna do is use my movement to run towards where the white dragon is coming
Okay.
in for a landing.
So 35 feet, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll put you out to right around there. Trying to give you the benefit of the doubt on some of these moves here. My scale is not perfect by any means. Alright, so right around there.
All right. And the one closest to Tohan and Guilfoyle, that one's like really bloodied, right?
The Nyogi, yes.
All right, so I will attack that with Firebolt.
Okay.
Am I within 120 feet of it?
I think so. Awfully close, if not. 120 is going to be... you're just outside of it. Although if you were moving on more of a straight line, you probably could have gotten to it anyway. I'll give that one to you. I'd rather you guys get to do stuff than just move once and be like, well, I can't get there. That's dumb.
If I shoot Firebolt, Guilfoyle isn't too close to be damaged by it, right? Because it's just a straight...
The only thing that's really in your way is Dave's spiritual weapon, but that shouldn't affect it at all.
Yeah, it's immaterial.
Yep. You should just blast straight through it.
All right, and while I'm preparing my spell, I ask Reginald if there's anything that I should know right now, considering our situation with Melancholy and everything going on at the moment.
He says, well, it seems clear to me that the dragon is, he's realized he's been duped. Although I don't guarantee that he's going to be particularly friendly with us. Perhaps, this is one of those situations where discretion is the better part of valor. Perhaps let these Nyogi bug creatures and the dragon fight amongst themselves. I mean, we don't know if the Nyogi are under the control of Malakani or if they're some separate force.
I ask Reginald to please tell everybody else via his mental way what he just told me.
So he sends it out to everybody, and everybody kind of gets this message of...
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, essentially.
And then I had a 19 to hit that Nyogi.
Okay, yeah, that hits. Damage on Firebolt.
That's pulled up. Get that right now. It was only a 5.
Okay, so it is still very bloodied, but it is alive still. Let's see. Maggie.
All right. Maggie is going to hit that Nyogi with the spiritual weapon first.
Yep.
So Finally, is a 19
That hits.
and 11 damage.
All right, it falls down dead. Your frying
Hell yeah.
pan. Ariane's firebolt shoots through your
Right.
frying pan, and the frying pan actually gets like a little red spiritual glow to it. And as it goes
Hell
to
yeah.
strike, you see in it is a set of spiritual eggs and bacon that are still cooking in the pan from all the magic
Hell yeah.
fire.
Nice.
Clong! They like actually do a little flip, so they're over easy.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right, and then she will command the air elemental to attack. Or actually, no. Let me hold off on that because the air elemental still has some Neogis around it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and it seems to just be going berserk and attacking whatever's closest to it.
Which I guess at this point is Venadia, right?
No, it's
No,
it's
the
closest-
Neogis.
It's closest to the
Mhm.
Neogis.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. So right now, actually, they could all get away unless the dragon opportunity attacks them, right?
Yeah, Venadia is still immune to opportunity attack. The other two can definitely run. The dragon could get an opportunity attack, perhaps a swing of its tail or something.
And how close is she to Tohan and Guilfoyle?
How close is Maggie?
Yeah.
You are 45 feet away from them.
Okay, she'll move close enough to bless Venadia, Valk, and Tohan.
Okay. So,
And so then they get +4 on attack and saving throws.
what's the range on Bless?
30 feet.
30 feet? Okay,
Sorry.
so that's about 15 feet of movement for you.
Cool.
All right. So that's your turn, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Guilfoyle is still nowhere to be found. He's probably already riding in the white dragon somehow. So Tohan.
So it looks like all the Neogi in the front are just attacking the dragon right now.
Yeah, at this point they're all focused on the front of the dragon. They're snapping back and forth, and you're just kind of standing behind the dragon.
Jesus. All right. I guess I'm gonna start taking swings at this dragon then.
Oh man, just get out of there.
Get out of here, you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we should pull back. Let them kind of like buy us some
Fight
time.
it. Yeah. I mean, we have this other white dragon coming in to pull us out, and that has the twin on it, so we want to get on there and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, you saw Jurassic Park, right?
Must go faster.
Yeah. All right. Fucking I guess I'll yell again in Draconic. Be like, "It's like, don't be a fool. Get that necromancer, and then fucking run away."
You got it. 40 feet of
Oh, yeah.
movement, right?
Yeah, but I can dash. I'm gonna dash right to that white dragon, I guess.
Okay, yeah, you're easily able to get up there. So you run over to where it is kind of flying in, and you're running underneath it as it's swooping above you. Venadia, your turn.
I'm definitely going that way too.
Okay, 35 feet or 30?
I am gonna dash, so I'm gonna go 60.
60. Okay, so you're able to almost get underneath it as well. Alright. Valk.
I literally just ran up there, so now that I see Murder Lizard and Stabby Devil are running the other way, I'm going to sigh exasperatedly and follow them. And I want to run and dash, so whatever my max movement is on that.
You're able to get right up underneath it as well. And I imagine it's like slowly gliding in, kind of for like a, it's like going to ramming speed or something. I don't know. Let's see. Air Elemental takes a swing at the other Nyogi that's right next to it with its slam attack twice. That's a hit, and that's a hit. And what did we say it did for damage? I believe that kills it. Yep. Alright, so it shatters another of these Nyogi over here. This is interesting. I've never controlled so many monsters fighting each other all at once. This is weird.
Cool.
And then it just moves on down to the next one and kind of stops on its way. Now it's the White Dragon's turn. This is the other bookmark I have in the monster manual. Alright, so it flies in above you guys, gets within its range of its breath weapon, and fires off its cold breath. It exhales an icy blast in a 30-foot cone, and each creature in the area must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, taking 45 cold damage on a failed save. Let's see. Looks like the dragon made his save. See if the Niyogis do or not. The Niyogis do not, as a group, make their save. So this white dragon comes flying in, blasts everybody in this group, and all the Niyogis die. And the zombie dragon does that cool dragon thing where it like just kind of covers itself up with its wings while it's getting blasted and then shakes off like a bunch of ice and shit. So now it's just this Niyogi, the air elemental, zombie dragon. And you guys. The dragon kind of slams down to the ground when it makes its attack. Now you guys are all off on one side here, we'll say. And the orcs begin rushing towards the white dragon as well. Ashnak screaming, "Load out, boys, load out! Civvy's on deck first!" And at this point, where the dragon has landed, we'll say he's actually a little bit in front of you guys and turned. So his butt's kind of facing you. And where he has landed, his butt opens like the flaps on a pajama.
Nice.
Like literal butt
Nice.
flap pajamas. And like the landing gear comes down, and like wheels come out of his ankles and stuff. And on board the back of this dragon 747 type thing, let's see. You can look in and you'll see the following groups, kind of ushering you up onto this thing. You see Nexa, along with Munley, Arlo, and the dog, and Captain Grotag Nutsmasher seems to be up at the front of this thing, pulling some cords, yelling out orders. You see the fellows that you had met previously from Acquisitions Incorporated, including the Masked Lord Omen. They all seem to be present. Jim, Omen, the Bard, Viari, and the Dwarf Binwin. Now, these guys are all on the dragon right now. I'm just kind of putting them out there so you can see them. There's also two more groups of orc boys.
Venadia jumps on board immediately.
Okay. So yeah, assuming, is that everybody's plan is to, like, as they're getting ushered on, like, go, 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 by Ashnak, that they're all going to run onto the airship?
Yeah,
here?
we'll get to the chopper.
Okay. So you guys are able to get onto this thing. Just
Maggie's gonna kind of get on last, basically, and command the air elemental towards Malakani, which is a spell, Wisdom 16. If
Yep.
you want to roll that.
Okay, let's see. Elemental Wisdom. Anything on Wisdom saves? I don't. So, save was a 13. What was it?
16.
Okay, so yeah. The air elemental just kind of stops what it's doing at the Neogi, and on its turn it begins to move kind of towards the army of the undead. It should be pretty quick too, I believe. Where's his movement?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he can move like 90 feet. Cool. All right. Yeah. So everybody loads onto this ship. The the zombie dragon at this point turns, and this being the 5th round that he was required to recharge, I believe, he unleashes his breath weapon at this white semi-mechanical cybernetic dragon. Let's see, Con 22, young white dragon, Con +7. See what he rolls. 14, so he does not make his save, so he takes much poison damage. 77 poison damage, but he's still alive. Let me just see how many hit points he actually has. Alright, so this blast of chlorine gas seems to corrode the nuts and bolts and the remaining flesh on this pickled orc contraption. And yeah, it does quite a bit of damage. If it was a living creature, you might be even say that it was already bloodied. But after that, you guys are able to get airborne with the entire crew inside of this dragon. There's not much space. It's pretty cramped at this point. And you notice along the inside walls of this dragon where like its ribs are, there's holes in the fuselage every so often, and some of these orc weapons are sort of poking out like these almost like a ballista would be on a ship, but you have the nagging suspicion that these are more orc tech weapons that fire rapid fire projectiles of some sort. And so so you take to the air, and as you're looking out as the butt flap on your white dragon closes, you can see, although it's no longer Mexa, and Dagger Shipanibal. That's how you pronounce his name. I'm only going to say it once. So it's just the dragon now flying after you. Two. Thank you. The zombie dragon. Yeah. It is up to you guys. I know some guys wanted to quit early tonight, right?
Yeah, I got to get going.
Okay. So yeah, basically the setup is that this is now a race between your young flying white dragon and this creepy zombie dragon that has not had too much damage done to it. So now might be a good time to just cut it for the night if you guys want. You were able to destroy a very powerful evil artifact. Like, now what that means remains to be seen. It seems that there was some sort of a dire warning attached to that, but we'll have to find out what that's all about. And you know that this dragon does not seem to be directly in cahoots with Malakani, but rather was somehow being charmed. Now, the dragon still clearly wants revenge / its toys back, but it seems like the orcs may have actually sort of disassembled and dispersed those toys into becoming more weapons. That seems to be what you have witnessed. So yeah, as we pick up next time, you guys will be flying through the skies at night, and I would say at this point, it's been pretty close to 24 hours since you guys have rest. Well, you've gotten a short rest, so I guess you wouldn't be able to hit exhaustion quite yet. But I would say that the threat of exhaustion is looming there as well, because you guys have been up. I mean, poor Valk died and came back. He's probably pretty tired. Yeah, so if this is, I think this is probably the best spot to leave it for tonight. So hopefully you guys come up with a plan. And I will say that, as you notice, Grotag Nut Smasher, he is actually captaining this vessel. Apparently the innards of this dragon are not that different from the controls to a reasonable-sized airship. And he's shouting out orders to some of the orcs to, like, take the guns, And to some of them to get the breath weapon recharged, they're over there like hand pumping like a cold compressor. So yeah, that's we will say that next time when you guys take up, you're gonna have a bit of a dogfight session. It looks like, because in order to escape this dragon, you're gonna have to at least get to the other end of this area here on the board. Oops, that's the wrong button. I can show you guys what the grid on this looks like. So it's not terrible. We're gonna do probably like something like one of those spaces is equal to like 20 foot, because dragons move fairly quickly. So it might be 10 rounds of aerial stuff that's going on, and I will try to post. I will post the abilities that this young white dragon has that you guys can kind of have some access to during that dogfight. So you get a little preview of next week's session. That's like
Cool.
round one for next week's session, and then we'll have to see where you guys wind up landing.
Okay.
Does it
Sounds
count
good.
as a creature or a vehicle?
Yes.
So, so Maggie's ability to bless a creature and to command a vehicle are both relevant?
Sure.
All right, sweet.
Absolutely. I don't see why not.
Cool.
All right, guys. I gotta go.
Yeah,
Thanks for a
awesome.
really crazy session.
Yeah. Very cool.
That was awesome.
Pretty wild series of things.
Yeah. There's this story is nothing if not convoluted. I guess that's the best
You're
word
welcome.
for it. Yeah,
Keeps
it's
us on our
fun.
toes.
I'm still. This is still like a moment for me because I've never like had a character that was so willing to just get killed before, and I was. But, Bob, I gotta say, it was like a coin toss as to whether or not I was gonna be like, so Valk's dead, like you killed him. Nah. Like, it was either that or like there might not have been an easy way back, but I'm like, and then I got to deal with a whole lot of split party issues, and that's not fun for me as a DM. Like,
I thought he was going to get sent to his god.
yeah,
So did I. Well, but they had other plans.
yeah. See, the gods do pay attention. They've noticed the stuff that's been going on. That's the interesting part too. Is it's like they're not oblivious to the world of mortals. They just kind of are like, let's see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to hold anyone back, so if you guys want to bounce, that's fine. But Zach, I had a couple of follow-up questions. I don't know if you want to get out of here too, or if you have time.
Oh, I got some time.
Okay. All right. So,
Oh, Bob, by the way, I just want Jake. I told Jake that you were playing, and he wanted me to say hello to you.
Jake, what's up? I haven't seen him in too long. I haven't seen Jake in too long. I miss Jake, and I definitely miss hanging out with you guys. But yeah.
Yeah, one of these
Peace
times
and
when
Jake.
everybody's around, we're gonna have to actually try to get together and do something. We'll
Yeah.
set up a game.
I
Absolutely.
I like sneak into Saratoga for like a night, and then I'm gone, and all I get to do is like go to the bar. So
Well, we'll have to just play at the bar then. That's fine.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure
Yeah,
it would
just-
be fine if we played at the A's.
I feel
come
like
on down.
for like 5 out of 7 of us, at least the A's is a pretty common element. So
Yeah,
I thought
Used
I
to
was
be.
I'm down.
where I
Used
might
to
be.
be.
Yeah, it is used to be, but
indeed.
I finally trust myself to go back in there again, so that's a plus. Like, all right, Zach can get away without doing too much stupid shit. If I have like a beer, maybe. That's it. Those are few and far between, though. I just have too much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what'd you want to ask about, Bob?
So, first question is about that dagger. I'm just wondering the stats and if I'm even allowed to wield it. Because I'm thinking from like a character perspective is like obviously divine, this divine providence led me to this weapon. I'm the avatar of of one of the lawful gods, the god of the dead. But so I assume this dagger is like one of his divine instruments.
This is actually like a pre-New Gods weapon, essentially. Like the Jahamdeth dagger has been around for probably a few thousand years. It's similar to the crown. It has a way of like resurfacing. as many of these ancient weapons do. It seems like the old powers kind of knew how to build them. You know, it's like a 1928 Ford for a magic weapon, but it's. I would say yes, you can use it. It is a lawfully aligned weapon. It's actually a lawful evil weapon, but it's still lawful, so there would be nothing stopping you from using it. And yeah, I would say it is. I believe, because I can't find the actual stats for it. I'm pretty sure when I first read it, it's a +1 to attack, +1 to damage. And yeah, I'm just adding that it has the power to kill these old, or to wound these old gods, to do damage to them, because even magical weapons sometimes will fail against certain gods and things.
Yeah.
So it's like
Is
a
it
guarantee that it'll do damage if you can poke one of them with it.
okay? I was looking on Google and I found I see Jothamon. Is that what it is, or is it Jaham Death?
I thought it was Jaham Death, but I might be writing it wrong then.
I mean, it says it's from third edition. I don't know. I'm just saying if I,
it would be from a different edition, which is probably why I couldn't find a stat block for it for 5e. So I'll have to adapt something for it. It might have additional stuff that it does.
Okay, I'll just have to figure out how to do that. And again, I don't want to keep anybody. I just have a couple of questions.
No.
And the other question I had was, does my character have any kind of like I am the I'm the acting avatar of Kellum Vor, so I'm almost wondering like do I notice anything different about myself? You know, obviously coming back to life and running around a field of battle. I'm trying to collect myself, so I'm just thinking, do I notice anything different? Are there any? Is there any like divine energy? What's going on, or is it just I'm me, and I also happen to have the title of Avatar?
It is, as far as you can tell, like, you don't really feel any different. It's almost odd how normal that you feel. Like, you're like, well, that just happened. You know, like, it just sort of sits with you, like, that's a thing that you were bound to do eventually. You know, like, well, it seems fair.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that there aren't effects, you just haven't noticed anything yet.
All right, and I'm also wondering if I have any direct communication, like prayer to Kellum Vor if I'm acting as Avatar, or like and I'm also like, would that make me an oath breaker? I don't even know, or would that just if I'm working for the god who's my god's boss?
Yeah, that's essentially it. It's almost like it got passed up through management. You know, like, hey, this.
Which I'm thrilled about.
Yeah, like this guy is he's making waves down here, boss, in the mailroom. You know, like it's that sort of thing. Yeah, you got the distinct feeling from Kellum Vor that he is, like, he's the god of the dead, but he's also very honest. Like, he strikes you as like this truly honest deity. The one thing that you do know about him is that the story goes that when Kellum Vor took over as the god of the dead, he replaced the previous worshippers of Cyric, who looked at, like, they all worshipped Cyric out of fear, essentially, and his religion is not one of necessarily fear, but one of seeking enlightenment and understanding and peace in death. So whereas like the old gods of death maybe were looked at more as being like these chaotic and evil forces, the new god of death, Kellum Vor, is more, or god of the dead, is more like sort of like an Egyptian god of the dead, like what's the one that judges you, Anubis.
Yeah,
like
Anubis.
He
that's
sort of
the
functions like that. Like he's more of like a judgment call. Like he's the judge at the end of the road. You know, he says where people go when they die if they are lawful people. Like if someone was lawful but broke too many laws, they might have to go serve penance in one of the other planes of existence. But the best and most lawful get to live in Arcadia, which is the next celestial plane over from, or the next plane of existence over from Celestia.
Cool. All right. I might have more questions, but I don't want to keep everybody. Do I get any more lawful alignment points?
Yeah, we'll definitely give you a law point for following right along with the, you believe that the will of the gods is.
That's all I've got. Thanks for hanging around.
Yeah, no problem. Just wait till next week. Amanda bought me an early Father's Day present, and you guys are gonna fucking hate her. I can't wait.
Is that what her GIF is?
Can't
Her
wait to
GIF
use
is
it.
about?
I don't know. I haven't checked the chat in a minute, so probably.
I have one quick question.
Yeah.
What would be the best like through the compendium on D&D Beyond, like what would be the best easiest way for me to find a list of level 7 creatures that I can like change
Ooh,
my party members into?
that's a good question. So you're gonna look for CR7 creatures. However, I don't know if you guys have access to the DM stuff because I only bought the players bundle on D&D Beyond.
You should be able to just Google it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
There's a
think I
ton of
found it.
resources.
yeah. If nothing else, they have what's called the SRD, which is like it's like the freemium version of D&D. So there's a huge list of stuff in there, and also
Like a wiki or something?
yeah, there's definitely a I'm trying to think. 5etools.net, I want to say it is. It's got a pretty good one, and the other one is donjon.bin.sh. Like I can post the actually I'll post them in the in the messenger.
Yeah, if you could post those in the chat, that would be awesome. Thank you.
All right, so we got Dread Flesh Golem, we got Eater of Worlds, we got Entombed Marauder. Yeah, there's some pretty wild stuff at CR7.
All right, because in order for me to use that spell on the dragon, all the dragon has to do is beat a 14 Wisdom save. So it'd be the best way for me to use polymorph would be to turn somebody into something really badass to combat the dragon. Maybe something that could fly.
Yes. So donjon.bin.sh. I posted it in the chat. That one has.
Cool.
If you actually go to the website, it's got something called it's got a monster list for one, and you can actually search by CR. So you can put in like up to 7, I think, or 1 through 7. Let's see. Donjon 5e. I'm looking on my Internet Explorer here. Yep, so if you type in, or if you click that link, and then there's a section on the left that should say 5e or 5th edition, and you click, or D&D 5e it says, and then like the second one down from that says monster list. So if you click on it, there's like this cool little thing that will essentially tell you, like you go to challenge, and you can only select one at a time, it looks like, or maybe you can do multiples. Nope, you just have to click on each level you want once, but if you click down from 7th down to like 0, it should give you a pretty good idea of all the different ones. I clicked on 7 and 6, and you've got like Annis Hag, Bodak, Kazmi, like it puts them all in order for you. You can sort them by like type, so it's all sorts of different stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah, there should be quite a good list of things you can polymorph stuff into there.
Very nice.
And then yeah, for each one of these, if you click on it, some of them it'll say like no description available, but you can usually just type in the name of the creature and then 5e on Google, and a stat block will come up, or like a card will come up for it, so you can see what cool abilities it has and stuff. Because when you polymorph somebody into something, it gains all the features and abilities of that creature.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I picked it as a spell.
Yeah, it's definitely a solid spell. Like, especially in the group that you have right now, where you have some people who are kind of tanky, and like they can do that. You know, they can shift, become this creature, take damage and stuff, and still not be dead when they shift back out of it. Hopefully.
Yeah, And my Rage 2 does stack with Polymorph, which is pretty sweet. So
Wow.
that's why like the Druid Barbarian multi-class ones are like crazy good because they can like wild shape and then also Rage at the same time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's
Nice.
just turn
So,
around and fight Malakani now. Shit.
so would
like,
you? So Nick, would you be in agreement to be polymorphed if something came up that
Sure,
would?
if you got something, but if you lose concentration, I'm pretty much gone because I don't have anything that can stop me from plummeting.
That's funny.
Well, we'll have to make sure it's the ideal situation to do that.
Yeah. So to give you guys a like a little perspective on the strength of the dragon you were just facing, like its challenge rating is a challenge rating of 22.
Yeah.
So like like the ancient ones are strong. They're like, almost god level themselves in a way. Like they're not quite there yet. They're not quite deities, but dragons are not far off from being very godlike when they get to that sort of level. And like most of this, like the Manticore that you guys faced off at a much lower level was like a CR4. Like most of the creatures are. CR is not a great indicator of how powerful or useful that a creature can be. So like, like a young brass dragon or a young white dragon, like the one that you guys are flying right now, is only a CR6. So it's all sort of dependent on individual stuff. It's like, the CR system is a bit flawed, but yeah, you should definitely have some cool options.
I may have a way around having to concentrate on that spell, so that wouldn't be an issue.
Your sorcery points, I'm assuming you're talking about.
Nope, my Fey Wild Shard.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I'll have to look more into that.
Yeah, that's kind of a deadly combination actually, because yeah, that allows you to not have to concentrate. That's right. Ooh.
I'll have to discuss things with Reginald later.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about stuff, obviously you can always post them in the chat, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Because I'm a dorky farmer that just hangs out, fucking pokes plants into the ground, and then looks at my phone every 15 minutes.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's a great job to multitask, because if I have an idea, I like take out my phone and I just make a note. Like, oh yeah, by the way, like this Sunday I'm gonna do this thing to the party. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I wasn't sure how you guys were gonna do with the dragon tonight. I wasn't sure if you were gonna bum rush it or if it was gonna be more of a hide. Like, I also wasn't sure how the stuff with Valk was gonna go either. So I'm glad everybody had fun.
I think it all went well so far.
I was considering having Valk have to pass some like crazy moral tests of like stuff about laws, like King Solomon's baby type shit. Like, all right, two mothers both claim it's the baby. What do you do? Like the answer, but it's
the train problem.
Yeah, the train problem is another good one. That's a mean problem. I was thinking about that with you guys a while ago because I was looking for interesting like legal gray or like moral gray areas, and that was one that came up. Was the whole like, what is it? You're on a track and you if you flip a switch,
you can kill one person,
Yeah,
or if you don't flip a switch, you're gonna kill like
a
5
bunch
people.
of people. Yeah, it's like supposed to be like like a family member or like a bunch of people you don't know, but then there's another person at another switch that has the same option as you. It's like an impossible question. It's crazy. I almost resorted to my psychology book, but it's buried under like a mountain of other crap. So
I sold all mine for money as soon as I could.
It's funny because psychology was the class that I absolutely fucking hated. Like, I thought I was going to love it because I'm like, yeah, the inner workings of people's minds. And I just found 101 to be so fucking boring that I couldn't, like, I took it online, too, so it was even worse. It's like, oh, you should just read the chapter and then discuss for, like, a week, and then we'll give you a test. You have an arbitrary 70 on your discussions. Like, what? Why? What did I say that was wrong? Is this like a fucking Rorschach test? Like, I don't. How are you fucking grading this class? Made no sense to me at all. So
It's
I
hard
went.
taking psych classes and in the online format. I've done it.
Yeah, I just didn't. I didn't like online classes in general. I never really appreciated them that much. Freshman
Yeah, me
seminar
neither.
was cool. That was an interesting class to take online because with freshman seminar online, they're like, "Where's stuff on campus?" And you're like, "I'm looking at a map. I don't like
Uh,
point here. I guess I don't." Yeah, didn't make a ton of sense, but I took it anyway.
It's usually an easy A.
Yeah,
Boost up your grade point
that's
average.
all it was. It was like type 2 paragraphs a week. Where is the library located on campus? There was literal multiple choice questions for freshman seminar, and I'm like, this is they're just trying to up your grade point average for your freshman seminar, aren't they? That's literally why it's called that.
Hmm.
It's a free A, like you said. Which is funny because that was all my first semester classes. It was like, oh wow, you're on the dean's list. Well, fucking yeah, like a 10-year-old could be on the dean's list. This shit. And
You'd
then
be
like
surprised, man.
then
And people,
third semester was like, oh hey, here's an ice pick to the brain. We'll give you all your data structures classes and shit. Like, I don't know. This sucks.
I know. I went to when I went to school, like I didn't take a math class for like my first 2 years. I didn't in senior in high school either, and I was like, it's been 3 years since I've done any math, and this
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah. I will tell you that I went from being an applied, or what was it, a AP math student in high school to being an applied math student in college, and was like, wow, how did that happen? I got stupid.
You
Like I didn't go
forget it
back to
all.
school until I was 28 either, so it was that was like culture shock for me because I'm around all these like kids, you know. I'm like, who are all these children in school? This is weird. They're all so young.
I went a few times. I went when I was 19 on a music degree, and then I went back later in my mid 20s. Went to ACC.
You know.
I never
Where'd you go
finished
for
any of
music?
them. It was a private college down on Long Island, Five Towns.
Oh, say my
Ah,
sister she's a music teacher, so
You might have heard of it, Bob, since you're downstate.
yeah, I know about Five Towns.
That's cool.
Five Clowns, as we called it. I only went there for for 2 semesters.
Like I imagine any music school, like the Juilliard included on this, I think that any music school is probably like kind of a party school. You know, if it's like I know that there's a lot to learn with music. Like I remember taking music theory. Me and Nick took music theory together in high school, and there was a lot
Oh,
to it. Like
theory's no joke.
there was a lot more to it than I ever thought there would be. But yeah, I just can't imagine a bunch of musicians getting together and not constantly partying. Even if you're like playing the cello, like you're still like, yeah, let's get some fucking beers and play the shit out of this cello. Like I don't know, I just it's how I envision it.
There was a lot of fun to be had.
See, I had the unfortunate luck of being married when I was in college, like right before my divorce too. So it was like, if only I had timed things just a little bit better, where it was like maybe go to school after the divorce. Because man, I tell you what, it was awesome. there was just
Mm.
there's a lot of pretty girls up there at ACC, and they were all too young for me. But not so young that it was creepy. It was great. It was like a guarantee, you know. Like I can smile at any of you, and I don't feel dirty about it. This is awesome.
It's one thing that was nice about ACC when I was up there. I didn't feel weird being there in my mid to late 20s because I mean there was a wide variety of different
Oh,
ages there.
we had a guy that was in his 60s that was in one of my classes that was awesome. He was super cool. He was like a retired firefighter and shit. And he was like learning to code and learning networking and stuff. And he always had a really different perspective on things. That was like, you know, these kids would be coming in and they're all fucking hungover and shit going into class. Like, oh man, I don't even know what the fuck we're supposed to do today. And he's like, sits down with his notes and is like, you guys really got to quit partying so hard the night before a test. And he'd just go through and ace everything. Never really had any problems. Like I found the older students took things a lot more seriously because most of them
Yeah,
were either
totally.
there. They were there on their own dime, or they got
Yep.
there through like grants and working really hard, and they all had like
Yeah.
shit going on in their life that they didn't want to fuck up.
Yeah.
I was really good
There's-
until till the year that I got divorced, and then I was like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm just partying. I'm in college.
There was a dude in my like acting class who was in his late 40s, and he was like that. He basically just wanted to keep going to school to try to get better and break into doing something, even though it was later in life. But I guess he was just like, what I was doing was driving me crazy. This is the only thing that I find that's entertaining. So, and he was like the best student in class. He was just really. I feel like you can go as a teenager, but I feel like you need at least a year to like get your head together and like get your shit together, and then realize, so there's no shame in going later in life, obviously, because you get it, like it's valuable to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think I would have done well in college right out of high school. I think I would have completely shit the bed on it. It would have been like a semester in, and I would have completely just flunked a bunch of shit. I was too concerned with like partying and having fun with friends. But
I was up and down for my four. I was like, I was awesome in my freshman year, and then like sophomore, I like slumped, and then like junior and senior was kind of like middling. I could have done better, but I was like exhausted. I'm like, I'll never not go. You get burned out.
Yep. Yeah. I wound up with 5 semesters total because I was trying to do a double major in 5 semesters, but it would have taken me a 6th semester to finish my double major, and I was like, I think it was a 3 credit and a 4 credit class away from finishing one major, and then I needed another 3 credit class to finish the other major. So I would have had to take like 3 classes the following semester, but I got an incomplete in one of my CCNA courses. I got a fucking like 70 in one of my other ones or whatever it was. Like I went from having like first semester was like a 3.8, then it was like a 3.5, and then it was like a 3, and then the 4th semester was like a 2.8. Like it very rapidly declined once I hit the divorce proceedings. It was like, nah, I don't care about all this shit anymore. Like
that's how it always
good job.
went with me.
Who needs one of those once you're divorced?
Whenever shit hit the fan in life in general, school was always the first thing to go. And that's why I would technically be like a super sophomore or a junior right now, but I have multiple degrees that I started.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too, is that I wasn't smart. I didn't get all my liberal arts shit out of the way first. I like went in and took all the specialty classes that I was interested in. Like, oh, magic, religion, and witchcraft. That sounds like a fun class to take. Let's take that. Doesn't transfer anywhere, but it sounds fun, so that's cool. Like,
well, I got 2 semesters of music, 2 semesters of psychology, and a bunch of other random credits.
Yeah.
And I also went to the New School of Radio and Television for commercial production and radio.
That's cool.
The trick is to take the liberal arts courses that you used to have to fill like those electives. Take the ones that have like the smallest class size and are also the most niche.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason I should have taken Japanese literature from like the 1500s to the modern day, but here I am.
Yeah. That was me with anthropology. Like I was a computer science major, and they're like, you need some social science credits. I'm like, anthropology, I guess? I don't know. I'll take cultural anthropology. That sounds fun. And it turns out that we had the best teacher at ACC, Phil. Phil was awesome. Like he literally did a field trip to Esperanto's when I worked there. Like I was like, hey, because we were gonna go out to like the sushi place, but he was like, well, I don't know what other call. I was like, I work in a restaurant that literally serves cultural food, right, from like around the world. We can go there, and I can probably get us a pretty hefty discount. Hey, Will. Like Will was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Give him 15% off. So I brought like 18 kids into Espo's one night. It was like helping the people there serve them, and some like going in the back. Zach, you're not working right now? No, it's fine. I'm just helping out, making sure these guys have a good experience. That was super fun.
Will was such a good boss too. That dude was way laid back.
Yeah, yes and no.
Was a sweetheart.
Later on, it got a little weird, but.
I don't know.
So I can't fault him for firing my ass.
Oh, sorry, dude. I didn't know that. Shit, sorry.
Well, I shouldn't have called in like 15 minutes late for one of the gigs we were supposed to be doing. Like, hey man, I'm on my way to SPAC now. I know I'm running a little bit late, but there was this girl that I hooked up with last night. You wouldn't believe it. Zach, you're fucking fired. Oh, all right. That's probably fair. I'll talk to you later.
Sorry, man. I mean, he gave me a talking to because I was like, I was I was trying to be funny to customers, but it was coming off as me being an asshole.
This was like my 10th warning that he had given me because he knew I was going through a divorce and shit at the time. It was like all around the same time where it was like, Zach's having a real bad time this year. All right. So.
Damn it.
Yeah. 28 was both awesome and awful all at the same time. A lot of cool stuff happened and a lot of awful stuff happened. And now it's fucking 10 years later and I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy. Like all that shit happened so long ago.
And you're playing the coolest game with the coolest people
Hell yeah.
ever. Damn
Yeah,
it.
I am.
By the way,
Cheers.
not to veer back towards business. Good segue, Rob. But am I level 7 now, or am I getting at a disadvantage because I was dead?
No, I'll say that you definitely gained level 7. I mean, you did get to talk to a god. If nothing else, that gives you enough experience to get there.
Huzzah! Alrighty, thanks.
You guys even.
Yeah, 2 gods technically.
Couple of them. Sweet.
And you fought yourself.
Yeah. That's
I kicked my own ass. I beat the shit out
I
of
was
it.
gonna have that be a little bit more like what I should have done is I should have picked out a few of your cool paladin abilities and then had him use them against you, but I was also worried about the timing of it because like if it had all kind of lined up a little bit more evenly when we started, then I probably would have done that, but or I still would have forgotten about it like I do with half the shit that I plan. Like I go through my notes after the sessions and I go, oh, oops, a lot.
Don't feel bad. If he was anything like me, he was slash first, cast spells later kind of guy.
Yeah, and I think the idea was just that you were supposed to prove that you were willing to fight yourself, you know? It was like a little Cecil moment from Final Fantasy 2.
I was totally willing to kick my own ass.
Yeah, willing. He almost killed himself.
I was hoping to see Guilfoyle pull out that wand of wonder that he wanted.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He didn't use that at all.
Probably forgot about it.
That is literally the hardest thing with D&D, especially I'm sure for Bill, because Bill runs 2 games too. So Bill has like somewhere around 30 characters to kind of keep track of loosely in his head, I bet. So like for him playing his own character, like I do it in his game a lot where I forget the shit that my character can do and I'm like, oh no. Oh shit, no. I don't know if you saw the chat, Nick, of my idea for a character for that game.
Yeah,
I did.
Jeff.
Jeff. He's just Jeff. He's basically just me.
A couple of them play pretty gruff characters in there, like the guy who plays Quizzard in that, who's like a happy-go-lucky guy, plays like a super edgy kind of like vengeance paladin.
Okay.
And like he takes no gruff from no one, so he will.
Which is going to be even funnier to me. Like, literally my goal is to make Jeff's catchphrase, or make everybody's catchphrase, "Shut the hell up, Jeff," or like, "God damn it, Jeff." Like, that's just the character I want to play.
I'm pretty sure Quillian will fucking murk you.
That's even better. That's great. Now I just have to figure out a way to like maybe I just make him a half orc so that he just can be at 1 hit point every time that he tries to kill him. It's like, no, he's just a 1 instead. Hey, good shot, man. Good shot. He wants to be a bro, but he's like not cool enough to be a bro with the other bros. It's such a funny concept to me. Like I knew people like that in school.
What class is he gonna be? Just like everything?
He's literally
like,
gonna be like, I want to figure out a multi-class that's the most useless multi-class ever. Like I want him to have monk because I'm thinking like he took like some karate classes at the Y. You know, like it's like that level. Like, he's like literally a level 1 everything. Everybody else is like a level 9 something. He's like, I'm not good at anything, but I do a lot of stuff. But again, that leads to that like I'm gonna be super confused by my own character. Like, fuck, I have 95 abilities and none of them are useful right now. Like, it could be entertaining or it could just be annoying. I don't know. 'Cause, yeah, again, with some of the people that we play with, I know that they min-max their characters, like, super hard, and they're all about, like, being super efficient at D&D, and I'm like,
yeah.
This could be fun. It's like
Zach.
like a troll character. Oh, I should make him a troll. I wish I could make him a troll. Shit.
Jeff
You
the
might
troll.
allow that.
Maybe.
Can Can your feat be called just trying to figure myself out? Like, is that like the feat for your character?
Yeah, it's discovering oneself.
Yeah. No, yeah, the feat is between opportunities. That's what
Like live in a van down by the river kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
Oh,
basically.
that's definitely part of his background is that he lives in a caravan down by the river, but it's like he can't afford a horse, so it just stays there. It's like his van doesn't run.
I'm twice divorced.
Yeah. This is really hard because like there's not a lot of rivers in hell, so like finding a spot for this thing.
Maybe you could be a river troll. And that way you
that
can
could
just
be.
like continually like regenerate health.
Yeah, maybe it's not even a cart. Or maybe it's not a caravan. It's just literally like a cart.
I live in a cart by the
It's like a
down by the
wheelbarrow
river.
type cart. Yeah.
Houseboat.
Yeah. Shit, I want to get one of those for our swamp.
Houseboat on
Real
a
life.
river.
I keep telling my parents that I want to get a pontoon boat for our little patch of swamp that we have. It's like right on the corner of DeGarmo and 32 in Schuylerville, and there's just this big open wet spot that's wetlands. I'm like, let's get a houseboat and put it there. Just have parties on our houseboat in our swamp. It's like the most redneck thing ever. Because it doesn't go anywhere. It literally just goes through a culvert pipe underneath Route 32, so it would just be floating around in about 300 square feet of water.
See if there's any maritime laws where you can just not pay taxes on living there.
Yeah, and living in a boat because it's in wetlands. It's like the bridge people in Florida. Like all the people that dock their boats under the bridge and just chain them together when the hurricane comes. Like, well, hope we don't blow away today, guys.
If you need to talk to somebody about maritime law, I'm your guy. Jareth, cute story. That's a deep cut, like Arrested Development reference, anyways. And no one got it.
No, I never watched Arrested
I haven't watched
Oh.
Arrested Development in like over a decade, so
It ages well, is all I'll say.
I always wondered.
Yeah, I kind of was curious about the name too.
I do like the podcast Smart List though with Will Arnett and Jason Bateman and another one there they do. So I mean, like they're just funny.
Yeah,
I didn't know they did a podcast. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to find that now.
I've been searching for some new content to frickin' watch and listen to and stuff. I gotta get caught up on Bill's game before this frickin' Tuesday because I literally don't know what's going on in Avernus for like the last 4 or 5 episodes. So I'm like, I have to binge that at some point when like I'm not doing anything when it's raining. Cause yeah, I don't know. I need to figure out where the hell my character is and what the hell he's gonna do. If it's not
Right
Jeff-
now we're in like this giant dungeon and we're pretty much just murder hoboing our way through it.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So Jeff would be terrible at it. That's a plus.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, if it's not gonna be Jeff, it's gonna have to be like I've got an idea for a war domain cleric that's just like a dwarf that's just a cleric that he just is all about fucking fighting essentially. Because I know you guys said you had a lot of it's a pretty magic heavy party. And there's a paladin.
Yeah, we have everything but like a healer pretty much. I think the